All right.
Yeah, take care of yourself, love.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah.
good. Gotta be careful, 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 careful. Now your card stick, Jay. Your story. Right. So YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, not Twitter, Twitch, and website. You guys working? Okay. All of you working. That's good. Are you groaning in the back there?
No, that was Twitch.
Go to the school now. Go to school now. Go
Okay.
to school, man. Are you doing so and asking me? Go to school. They say these days anybody who want to be a professor can be a professor, you know.
Yeah,
As long as you have confidence.
yeah,
As long as you have confidence, you could be a professor. You go in your lecture with confidence, you lecture, and the child asks you something, research that. That's your homework.
yeah,
The teacher these days does not have to be a reservoir of information.
yeah. You just have to direct you to the place.
So you see, Virgin, I tell you the thing change, everything else change. Carl Kitten, good morning.
Morning, Andre Donald.
Wednesday today. Carl, can I ask you a personal question?
Yeah.
You get yesterday morning, you got here just around 5 after 7. This morning you got here. You living in Madays or something now? Or you living in Lafayette now? Oh, right here in St.
Let's say the boss consistently come on time.
Wow.
I come here with a boss. Let's say he travel consistently on time.
So you're not any closer?
Not really. No, I'm not closer.
Oh, are you same place? Asking your business, you don't answer. That's your business. So do I really care? No, I don't. Anne Harvey, good morning. Vanessa Lalji, good morning. Oh, Anne says good morning to you, Master Carl.
Hey, morning, Anne. How you doing?
And she calls you Master Carl. And she
Yeah.
calls me Mr. Donald. Differentiation by
Nah,
I
Master
got to be
Kali.
I got to be grandmother and make it you no rudeness no call to me but she call me Mister. Junior Victor, good morning to you, Steady Isaac. How you guys doing? Great. Well, no.
Anne, my viewing the same thing like the people I'm afraid to call.
What?
Maybe Andre Donald is so revered that you have to put a handle and respect to his name.
No man. Nah, everybody know Andre cool. You know, everybody know Andre cool. I am the cool fool with the live jive. I come up from a Paul King Douglas story.
Okay.
Stedlin says good morning to you.
Morning.
Joycelyn Francois.
Stedlin have a bone to pick with all.
Wow.
I leaving me out, Stedlin. Why? I see not
Where's-
on radio.
Where is Stedlin located?
Said look at someone said Andrew, but she have part of your relatives, you know, the blocks people is Stedlin relatives.
Blocks.
Orvin, Cornwall.
Uh-huh.
Cornwall's wife is Stedlin's sister.
Connell's wife is Stedlin's sister.
Yeah, but when the last time Stedlin and them was across in the estate of matrimony, they chose not to invite me.
Who got married?
One of Orvin's daughter.
Well, both of us is the same thing. I didn't get invited to.
Stedlin.
Danny, you tell me nothing like Danny, but you can drink all the rum for yourself.
Yeah, that one was not kind of rum thing, man. Adventist.
Must have rum.
Okay.
Yeah, crazy. Must have rum. Good morning, Drumsticks. How you doing?
Hello, good morning. I'm good.
Talk to me, love.
Good morning to you. Good morning to the nation. Salwat, good morning. I'm reading from the Word of God, John chapter 1, verses 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by Him, and without Him was not anything made that was made. In Him was life, and in the life was the light of men. And the light shineth in the darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. There was a man sent from God, whose name was John. The same came for a witnesses, excuse me, for witnesses to bear witnesses of the light, that all men through him might believe. He was not of the light, but was sent to bear witnesses of that light. That was the true light, which lighted every man that cometh into the world. This is the end of the scripture reading.
Hi, Jones. How you doing?
I'm good.
That is a serious passage of scripture there.
Yes?
And as a matter of fact, it seems like you and Andre had a discussion before, because Andre was just having a discussion with the person who prayed as relates to the Son of Man.
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning was the Word.
Yes, and the word was God.
So there's no other one with him or beside him or before him.
Not at all.
And he could manifest himself in any way, shape or form he chose to. Even in the case of Melchizedek.
That's right.
Yeah, so Andre Don say he'll do his research, and then we'll have a thing, and on that day I want you to call in and give you 2 pence. So everything good with you?
Yes, for the time?
Well, continue to be safe, you know.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Don't let your guard down at all.
Not at all.
As one person say, my grandmother used to always tell me, it's always better to be safe than sorry.
True.
So have a blessed day, man.
Yeah, same to you.
All right, you take care.
Bye.
Yeah. So Dre, what's new with you? Good morning to the listeners. Good morning to Anne. Good morning to my good friend Lena Breezen in New York City. Lena, how are you doing? Hope everything is A-okay with you. Red, R.E.D. I was talking to R.E.D. yesterday, and R.E.D. seems to be a regular listener to Real FM mornings. And he also mentioned that the content of Real FM is good in terms of issues of national importance that we are facing and dealing with. So he always look to listen to Real FM for information relevant to things. So Andre Donald, Real FM is a beacon of hope, a lighthouse too, bringing a lot of information to the citizenry.
You're preaching to the choir, Reggie.
I'm just telling you.
Don't know.
Yeah, but at least you don't do well with compliment I recognize you. Why? Then people I'm just giving you and Real FM all the flowers. No. You don't waiting for something to happen and say bye.
Real FM can take that, man.
So what's new with you?
Another day? That's new.
Okay.
Yesterday is gone, never to come again. That's not new, because it happens every day.
Today is always here. Tomorrow never comes.
Tomorrow may never come.
So what's up with you, bro?
Bit bothered, bit troubled by some statements. Nothing to do with politics. No angry statements did I make to someone. It's just in my discourse of duty.
Okay.
Someone has taken offense. But life goes on, and every day another babe is born. You know?
I always say another baby is born, but every day somebody dying somewhere also.
That is the negative side. You look at it. I look at the positive one.
But dying is not always negative. You know? So, the ancient of days, when he recognized his servant need a rest, he called them home. Yeah?
Some people get called without because they need no rest. They just need to stop doing what they're doing.
Well, when too much is too much, you can do.
Political Wednesday! I'm making a soca with that.
Yeah, make a soca.
You know, I'm making a soca. Just started making political Wednesday. I'm making a soca with that.
So you're constructing a soca?
Yeah. I was very good at extempo, you know. Remember Powder? I don't even know where he is. He was the extempo champion at one point in time.
Yeah, I remember Powder, man.
Yeah. And this is no joke. There's a guy called Chiny. He used to drive bus in Guave. And there's another one called Woo.
Yeah.
To drive bus in Guave also. Don't know what,
And then it's like called A-Woo or something too?
I don't know. But in any event, one day we were sitting on the it was the day before the extempo competition, national extempo competition at Queen's Park. And we were sitting there, and up comes Powder. So we're on the Esplanade chilling, and up comes Powder. And he's spitting, man, blazing, because he preparing for the next day. And Powder make the mistake and pick on me, you know, man. And you know how you just say, boy, well, Jay was in your element. What? After I finish with Powder, them men say, oh, go and take part tomorrow night.
Yeah.
I said, nah. I destroyed him that day in 4 verses.
What?
Verse for verse.
There's a lot of bars.
Yeah, man. It was destroyed. I was just in my element that day.
Like the boss Reese Cross.
Yeah. Yeah. It was just blazing. Yeah, but I like extempo.
I like to listen extempo. I like when they think about Sandy Manity.
Long before people were listening extempo in a big way in Grenada,
Yeah.
I was working at the airport, and I'm talking about in the 80s. People weren't really listening to or big into extempo like that. And I used to listen to a Trinidad radio station. I used to love when they put... Everybody hated to go to the tower, the air traffic control tower.
Yeah.
Right. So you have... There's a security there, right? Or security or two, depending. And everybody hated to go to the tower. I loved it because it would give me peace and solitude, and I do have to, ever so often you make a little patrol around the building, that kind of a thing. But you ain't have to make no long
You're more or less on your own.
Yeah. I'd love to go up there to listen to Trinidad, boy. That's why I picked up on the extempo. I used to really listen to it, and that competition that they had in they used to have in Fantasia, where you your soca, Toka Kaiso.
You talk Kaiso.
Yeah. And Carly Gate, I tell you this. It was Augustine David, Shadow, and myself. We used to travel together up and down. And we'd be talking about all sorts of things. And one afternoon, we stopped in Guelph by, you call that chicken place there, where they sell Kelly's. Kelly's, yeah, Kelly's Hot Spot. We stopped there to grab something to eat. And while there, Callistra used to travel with us too sometimes, but she wasn't with us that afternoon. While there, up comes, what the heck is his name? Don't remember his name right now, but he's married to Julia Moore. Kenneth Moore. Julia Moore, Fantasia. So up comes Kenneth Moore. No. The sugar mill had their kind of Soca Monarch kind of thing going.
I think the Soca Monarch was born.
Right, it was born in Sugar Mill.
Yeah.
Right? And I'll tell you a story about that one to remind me. I'll give you a story about that one. Yeah, we talking things this morning, man. We gotta go for the weather.
Yeah.
So let's take the weather and I'll come back to the stories. They're beautiful stories, man. Then you'd understand how important how important is.
Where you go? Where you walk? What you say? When you talk? Where you go? Where you walk? What you say? When you talk?
It's a hungry world out there.
Do you know any Spanish? What does Buenos Dias mean? Does that mean good morning, Tema?
Yes, good morning.
Well, Buenos Dias.
Buenos días, mi amigo. ¿Cómo está usted?
No, I ain't come to stay, man. I just come for a little weather to go back. I ain't come to stay. So a little weather news and I got.
Yeah. All right, I hear you.
All right, my brother.
Okay, good morning to you again and good morning to all your listeners. Well, conditions along our Tri-Island states and most part of the Eastern Caribbean now are fair. Our winds are easterly at 20 miles an hour, barometric pressure 14.4 millibars. Now that's above normal and rising. Current temperature 27.3 degrees Celsius or 81.1 degrees Fahrenheit. Relative humidity 79%. Now during the last 24 hours, maximum temperature recorded was 30.2 Celsius or 86.4 Fahrenheit. Minimum last night 25.8 Celsius or 78.4 Fahrenheit. We had 0.1 of a millimeter of rainfall during the same period, hence the total for the month is also 0.1 millimeters. Let's turn our attention now to the public forecast, and this is valid for today and tonight for Grenada, Carriacou, and the PT Martinique. We can expect conditions to be generally fair, but becoming particularly at times with a few brief, light, isolated showers. Winds easterly to east-southeasterly at 12 to 22 miles an hour. Seas moderate, waves 4 to 6 feet in open waters. Tides are currently falling. Low tide will be at 11:40 this morning, and it will remain relatively low for the day, becoming high at 3:55 tomorrow morning. Maximum temperature today should get up to around 30.5 Celsius. That's about 87 degrees Fahrenheit. Sunset today is 6:22. Sunrise tomorrow 5:47. So just to repeat the public forecast again. Remember, it's valid for today and tonight for Grenada, Carriacou, and the PT Martinique. Conditions are expected to be generally fair, but becoming particularly at times with a few light, isolated showers. So, Andre, all from me. It's back to you.
¿Cómo está usted? You see, I ain't staying. I tell you that. I'm going just now.
Okay, I hear you, sir.
Take care, my brother Tim. Have a wonderful one.
All the best to you, man. Good.
Great. One love. Keaton. Listen. So what was I telling you? I was telling you about Kenneth Moore and Shadow and myself, Augustine David. So we there and we're talking, and Kenneth Moore wanted a show. He wanted something that could rival the soca thing that the soca monarch thing they used to be having at the Sugar Mill. Because at that time Sugar Mill and Fantasia, they were battling.
Yeah.
Boy, I said to him, Toka Kaiso. So he's like, what is that? And I explained to him because I was listening. I told him, at that time, radio was my thing.
Yeah.
Right? I was not working at the airport anymore. But radio was still my thing. I was still banging on radio. As a matter of fact, at that time, I would have been working with GBN. GBN, right? And when I explained to him the concept of Toka Kaiso, decided that we're going to have it. Shadow was one of the first judges. I didn't judge. I never judged. Shadow was one of the first judges. I don't remember him and who. And the thing just screeched off because it was a new phenom. Because you believe that anybody would know their song and they could go and talk it, joke making. That's the hardest thing to do. Imagine Lava Man talking, she walking for position. Or imagine scholar talking, they had a belly. Men reaching the middle of songs and forget the tracks. So it was true. Augustine David and Andre Donald, the birth of Toka Kaiso came about. And I challenge anyone on that. The other thing, Carl, the very first Soca Monarch that Inspector won at Sugar Mill, that's the very first time they had Soca Monarch in Grenada at Sugar Mill. I, working in GBN, Troy Garvey was the programming director one that time. So him and Brian Pitt, who was the manager of Sugar Mill, they came up with the Soca Monarch thing. Took it out of Trinidad, of course. And Troy came to me a morning and he says, we're having a Soca Monarch. I said, well, what the heck is Soca Monarch? Because I myself didn't even know, what the heck is that? And he explained to me what it was. I said, oh, that's a good idea. He said, right, you have a job to do. I says, what's that? He says, you will select the 10 finalists. Not the 10 semi-finalists, I call. You will select the 10 finalists. And I selected them based on what was playing on the radio at that time.
Okay.
That's the very first Soca Monarch, Inspector one.
Alright.
I think Japs placed second or something like that.
Yeah.
Right. So you see, my name is etched here in the history.
Annals.
Yeah, man.
Annals of
You see,
history.
a lot of people just don't know. But as I said to you, Augustine David and myself, Toka Kaiso.
So he's a hero, but plenty people don't know.
No, I wouldn't say I'm a hero. I've done things. And then the Soca Monarch, the very first Soca Monarch, Troy Garvey said, you select all 10 finalists. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to take some bribe that time, but nobody was willing to bribe me. Yeah, take bribe.
So you might set up the thing for Inspector to win too?
I had nothing to do with the judging. The judging and everything was Troy's responsibility. And I guess that's why he did not want to select the person.
Yeah.
So he said, yo, you. At that time, Anthony Greenidge, Jericho, was still working with Spice Capital. And I'd say to you guys another thing. I was saying to Troy, yo, we need another announcer. You guys are going to kill me because I was working morning shift, like early morning like now, and getting to the station for 5 o'clock in the morning. Well, to work from 5, and there was no automation of nothing, yeah? You got to the station, you had to switch on everything. And then you had to listen to make sure that the transmitter came on in quarantine. If it didn't, then you call the engineer. So I would come in the morning, finish at 9, go home, and come back for 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That was killing Carl. And I said to Troy, yo, Bridget, are you crazy? You want to kill a black man here? You need to get another announcer. You need to get somebody else. And one day he called me in his office and he said, you know Jericho? I'm like, yeah. He says, what do you think? I'm like, yeah. Let's take him on. He said, you sure? I said, yeah, man, let's take him on. Jericho started to work the next day.
Jericho, Troy Garvey, and Andre.
So, you know,
GBC crew, them bad DJ.
Don't call me no DJ. You're crazy. But no, I'm saying to you, I was involved. And then at one point in time, Troy himself wanted to kill me again in relation to, he wanted, he was doing in and out with the morning shift, playing musical chairs with the morning shift with myself and Derek Sion. All right. Derek was a more somber person and could handle the morning shift better than me, but I was there handling it. right? Because Troy had just been promoted to
Who's CEO?
Derek Sion.
Okay.
Leslie Sion,
Horsemouth.
yeah, Leslie Sion, who is Leslie Ann Sion too,
Yeah.
the former president of the Senate.
Yeah.
That's it. That would have been his sister. So I was doing morning shift. Derek came into the staff, and Derek he would have been a better morning person, definitely a better morning person than me at that particular point in time. But I was happening, and I was liking the morning shift. But Troy decided he can play musical chairs. And one day I went to him, I said, yo, Bridget, stop that stupidness, If you want to put Derek in the morning, put him in the morning, and just give me back my afternoon shift, Because I can't take this morning I work, next morning I don't work, and I say I can't take that stupidness. You fix that. Put him, and give me back the afternoon shift. The next day I was back in afternoon shift. Yeah. There's one time, in one show, one program that ran for about a month and a couple of weeks. It was a Christmas program that I developed and gave it to the marketing department to sell. Okay. And by the end of the program, they had made close to $60,000, and that was like almost unheard of. They had made close to $60,000 within that program. The breweries had opened their storeroom basically, and drinks. Open the floor, and drinks were donated to the program so that I could give away drinks and stuff like that. Yeah. There's another year. Grentel it was. And that one, I think that year would have been 87. Yeah, Grentel. Our programming was so good, Jericho and myself, because we were doing it together. We were so good that Grentel invested in us and did over 5,000 T-shirts just to give away.
Okay.
It was called Mass 97. I still have one home, and guess what? I bet you can guess what the color is.
Red?
No.
Blue?
No.
Oh, I don't know.
You good?
Orange?
No.
Indigo? Violet?
Not violet at all.
Yellow?
No.
Oh, I don't know.
You don't know?
Nah.
Green. What else?
I wanted you to say the
You want
color
to
yourself.
yeah.
So if you realize I play around with
the colors.
play around with the spectrum and I leave out.
Yeah, green. I still have it.
I say Richard off York battle in vain, and I leave out gain battle.
I will I'll probably put it on one of these days. It's a green. It's called Mass 97.
Like
Mass
sardine.
80, Mass 97, yeah. And then it has, when you look, the outline will be Jericho's face and my face.
Okay.
I cherish that.
Jericho, Troy, Gavi, and Andre.
Yeah, that was my real soldier. It's a pity to see him go, but life rolls on.
With the water already.
The Nawasa app brings the power of Nawasa's customer service experience to you. Instant, conversational, and smart. Easy access anywhere. Get bill balance, transaction history for up to 6 months, report a fault, link to websites, view payment centers, contact information, push notifications, and multi-tenant accounts, all in a secure login platform. Like a self-service concierge app, mobile.nawasa.gd gets you the support you need much faster. Available on both Android and iOS platforms. Mobile.nawasa.gd, your customer support companion. Nawasa, committed to meeting customers' needs.
Good morning, listeners. Welcome to another edition of Waterwise, a production of the National Water and Sewerage Authority, Nawasa. I am Wendy Chateau. As indicated on our last program, work is set to commence soon on repairs to the Molyneux Main Road, which has been affected by land slippage. This, of course, has implications for Nawassa, as the 10-inch distribution main from the Concord water system to the town of St. George runs directly in the course of the repair area. This morning, as promised, we continue sharing with you a conversation between Planning and Development Manager Mr. Wim Cox and Sherian Noel on the authority's plans for addressing supply continuity during the course of the project.
Construction being as it may, we anticipate that there may be some mishaps. You might have some slides, something might move the pipe. The consultant has been constantly with us, and when this project starts, Nawassa is going to be on the ball, waiting to see if anything happens. But the one thing that we're going to make sure for a fact is that the supply to the town of St. George is uninterrupted during the process.
Okay, so the construction has to take place on both sides of the road. Exactly where will you be putting your bypass? Because from listening to the information that was shared is that they have to do curb walls and so to the top side first, although they said they'll be starting at the bottom side. So exactly where would you be putting it, and what type of lines will you be running?
Well, I can't tell you for a fact where it's going to go. As I say, as the project is elaborated, we are going to be working closely with the contractor to make sure that there is some space. So if they have to create some path for the pipe to pass, they'll have to do that. Yeah, and that is established already with the consultants, and so that whatever happens, they'll need to make provision for the line to pass. Again, this line is coming from Concord. The pressures that we get on this line is quite high. So by all means, it would have to be Dr. Lion line. I mean, the type of a line doesn't matter, always and when the pressure rating and so is within the spec in terms of what we normally get along the road. But clearly, as you could see how we have this one here properly trussed down with truss blocks and so, because of the pressures that we get coming down on the line, it's something that has to be, fixed properly, or else you could have mishaps where it would just pop open and create a big mess, because a 10-inch line busting open is not a simple thing.
At the onset of the slippage, the authority installed a temporary bypass intended to minimize downtime in the event the 10-inch main was compromised. Fortunately, the main remained intact throughout, and there was no need to commission the bypass line. Now, as indicated by Mr. Cox, the authority is working closely with the contractors on relocation of the lines to ensure that consumers are not adversely affected. That's all the time we have with you this morning. Until next time, on behalf of the entire team at Nawassa, I am Wendy Chateau, wishing you a fantastic day. Don't forget to try our web-based app for access to bill balances, push notifications, and more. You can also, if you haven't yet done so, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay connected.
The Nawassa app brings the power of Nawassa's customer service experience to you. Instant, conversational, and smart. Easy access anywhere. Get bill balance, transaction history for up to 6 months, report a fault, link to websites, view payment centers, contact information, push notifications, and multi-tenant accounts, all in a secure login platform. Like a self-service concierge app, mobile.nawassa.gd gets you the support you need much faster. Available on both Android and iOS platforms. Mobile.nawassa.gd, your customer support companion. Nawassa, committed to meeting customers' needs.
Ozone really gets it clean. Get with the Ozone family line of products. Ozone liquid laundry detergent, perfect for your semi or fully automatic washing machines, yet suitable for your hand wash, soft on your hands. Ozone disinfecting cleaner. It's the most powerful disinfectant and cleaner with a long-lasting fresh scent. Tackles every job around the house or office. Ozone detergent powder and ultra soft fabric softener gets your clothes clean with a natural freshness, keeps your colors bright. Choose from the wonderful scents, soft flower, ocean breeze, and the new aloe vera. Keep your kitchen sparkling clean with the Ozone dishwashing liquid, Ozone sponges, and cleaning cloth. Ozone Toilet Bowl Cleaner removes lime scale and kills germs while giving your toilet a refreshing scent. Ozone really gets it clean. Marketed and distributed by Calico, Frequente St. George's, and are available at shops and supermarkets nationwide.
Who wants to save 30%? Everybody! Now more than ever, Flow understands the need to make your dollar stretch. Our new bundles can help you save 30% off your current bill. Plus, get a free speed upgrade on your in-home internet. Simply add your mobile to your current home services account and save 30%. It's easy. Sign up now and save. All on the most reliable fixed and mobile network on island. Visit a Flow store or call us at 1-800-804-2994 for more information. Flow, it only gets better. Terms and conditions apply.
The Rotary Clubs in Grenada introduce the Good Neighbor Initiative, a program designed to assist individuals and families who require short-term assistance with electricity bill payment and the cost associated with rewiring of homes due to fires and natural disasters. If you or someone you know is in need of help, please visit our website at www.goodneighborinitiative.org. The Good Neighbor Initiative, helping individuals and families with short-term electricity bill payments and electrical wiring. One neighbor at a time.
We got the call on our way home that something was wrong. When we got here, we saw that the entire house was engulfed in flames. Just sitting there and looking at you, basically your whole life investment going up in flames. It did take a toll on us as a family. Once we decided to rebuild, the thought came up to use the Housing Authority of Grenada. After they sent in their quotation, which we thought was very, very reasonable, we decided to go with Housing Authority of Grenada. They were very helpful. They visited the site weekly. The staff was very professional. The contractor was very professional. They delivered our house on time. The quality of work was amazing. And as you can see today, we are not disappointed. I would definitely recommend Housing Authority of Grenada for all your construction needs. With their affordable costs, high level of customer service, guidance, and building expertise, they will help you as they help us.
There comes a time in every household when a loved one passes on, and we all need the support and guidance of a trusted friend. Lacroix Brothers Funeral Home has been your dedicated friend. And now, for your convenience and added financial ease, we introduce specially designed complete funeral packages from as low as $5,500. Same professional quality services, but now greater choices at the lowest possible prices. As you prepare to enter your loved one into eternal rest, visit Lacroix Brothers Funeral Home and select a package that brings added comfort to the entire family. Conditions apply. Serving you from locations in St. George's, Grenville, and Carriacou. Call us at 440-2302 any time of day. Lacroix Brothers Funeral Home, continuing a tradition of excellence.
M&M Hardware Limited, Hope St. Andrew and Dusty Highway, St. George. Shop conveniently for all your building materials, including plumbing, electrical, lumber, cement, steel, and much more. We manufacture roofing sheets available in 11 colors, aluminum windows, doors, insect screens, and hurricane shutters. Installation services are available for all our manufactured products. Our opening hours are Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. M&M Hardware Limited. Come on in and experience our affordable prices, or call us 444-6757 or 440-6757 Dusty Highway. Email us at info@mahonhardware.com or mnmdusty@mahonhardware.com. M&M Hardware, foundation to roof. Let's build together.
The first word when you speak about furniture is classic. Yes, at Classic Furniture, they design and make Best in local furniture. All their products are made from the finest local wood available on island. You think it, they design it, and make it to your expectations. The highest standards at the best possible price. And they also provide higher purchase for you, their valued customers. Located on Ben Jones Street in Grenville with their factory at Chantimel in St. Patrick. That's where you need to visit when looking for products made of the finest local wood. They deliver and install items at no extra cost. Your satisfaction is their mission. The extra step is taken to ensure their customers are completely satisfied. They do doors and finished kitchens, supplies mattresses, and restores antique pieces to look like the first day they were made. Hey, give us a call on 442-4645 and 442-9726. Classic Furniture, Grenada's homegrown furniture producers.
11 minutes now before the 8 o'clock hour. Here's a big song. I haven't played this song in a while. This is, what do you think is the song of the century, Carl? Calypso of the century. Calypso of the century.
Time. King Austin.
Which one?
Something to mark the passage of time.
That's it. You know your music, Brethren. King Austin. Progress. And I want folks to listen to this celebrate. Listen to the first verse.
Today, when I look around in the world, what do I see? I see footprints that man have left on the sand while walking through times. I see fruits of our ambitions, figments of our imaginations, and I ask myself, when will it end? When will it end? It is plain to see, universally this land is not bountiful as it was, simply because in his quest for success, nothing stands in man's way. All rivers run dry. Soon the birds will fly, the mountains will be no longer high. And when I really think of it, I just wonder why. Oh, why?
Big tune, yeah? You agree?
Big.
Listen to the second verse, yeah?
I see charity deplored, equal rights totally ignored, wisdom and ingenuity working in accord, simply to afford such inventions as thermonuclear warfare and environmental warfare. And I wonder now, where do we go?
Where?
From here, prophets everywhere gaze upon the horizon and declare that judgment will come as the savage hands of unscrupulous men defile everything passed by. Time is running out as we eat and drink, species at the brink of being extinct. And I think no one can deny that the price of progress is high, real high.
Tell me something, Carl. How could a song like this not necessarily win a crown?
Georges? Or how it was put on the night?
Maybe.
I see consciousness as great as today we live recklessly. Money make egos inflate and thereby create a turbulent state. I see a struggle between the sexes, new hang-ups and old complexes. Now the question is, right in context, what shall be next? I've already seen this world have come divided between race, color, creed and class. And some of the things the scripture predict truthfully come to pass. Soil that wouldn't bear children, making children to be a part of this growing mass. And I ask, if this is progress, how long will it last?
Carl Caton, The calypso of the century. Campbell, good morning. Good morning, Indra McQueen, Zephyrin McLeod, and Betty and Duncan. Devon Lane, do me a favor. Share that link on YouTube. Yeah, Carl?
So, Andre Donald, why did you leave GBN? Or GBC?
No, it was GBN that day. Why did I leave? I wanted more.
Okay.
I wanted more. And because I wanted more, Mellow Mix, good morning, Clever Deputy. I am very aggressive by nature, Carl.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted more than what GPN was willing to give. So I left. What I wanted to do when I left, because I resigned, I resigned, and what I wanted to do didn't really pan out. That's another story for itself. But I had to. It had come to a point where I had to. And my good friend Shoma, I know she's listening, she probably agree or disagree with me, but I had to leave because I just wanted more. I wanted to do things, Carl. I wanted to do things different. And I guess this is it.
Real FM?
Yeah, Real FM is it. But it was never a dream of mine to begin with. It's never a dream of mine to bring radio to St. Patrick. No. It didn't start out at that. It was only when I was in New York. And I made the decision together with Chris Rayburn of Boss FM and Lester Phillip of Top FM. Yeah, they both got into radio after that because I sort of sold the idea to them about how powerful the tool of radio is. So we got into it. It didn't pan out that we stayed together. So they both, went their separate ways. But I after being in New York and I looked and I saw that this parish was not necessarily being left behind per se. I don't want to use those very strong words.
Okay.
But our voices were stifled.
Yeah.
And not being heard. So I thought that best thing to do was to create the medium so that the people's voices in the rural areas would be heard. And this is Real FM. This is what it started out to be, and this is what it still is. The hurtful thing about it is that the people, Carl, who I did this for, they don't love it.
They don't hold on to it.
They ain't hold on to it.
They ain't embrace it.
They ain't embrace it. At this particular point in time, and I say this straight up, at this particular point in time, I get, and I'm not out there looking for respect and looking for people to say, hey man, yeah. No, I'm not out there looking for that. But when you listen, because I created this sort of rural areas, I expected rural people to gravitate towards it. The rural people in St. Andrew, yeah. St. Mark, yeah. In St. Patrick, not very many. Recently, though, the people who live in Northeast, St. George Northeast, yeah, recently, that to me there's been a surge in the Northeast, and these days I get a couple of calls. We get a couple of calls, and the station receives a couple of calls from the Northwest also. You know, and that is gratifying. We get calls coming out of South St. George. And that to me is really, really, that's a lot of love. You know, I am still waiting for the day. I may not necessarily be active here, but I'm waiting for the day when the people of St. Patrick, Carl, will embrace this because it belongs to them. First and foremost, it belongs to the people of St. Patrick. And I don't think that they have not shown it the love and the respect that they need to. And forget about Andre. This was done for you. And this is yours. And it is time. It is really and truly time that you embrace it. But coming back to what you asked, why did I leave GBN? I had to. I just had to. I had to. It was not offering me that which I wanted. And I guess this is probably what I wanted, and I did not even know what I wanted. Had I stayed in GBN, what would have happened? Had I stayed in GBN would have been the best goddamn thing in radio.
Since sliced bread?
They would have been the best goddamn thing in radio. And I tell you that. Had I stayed there, because by this time, and I'm saying this with no scruples, people can say, well, oh, you pompous and whatever, they're accustomed saying that it doesn't really bother me. At this time, Odette would not have been the manager. I would have been the manager. That's a given. Odette will not have been the manager. And with the resources, and to have television to boot, are you crazy?
Bold pronouncements?
No, but I'm saying it. I ain't hiding. Nobody's gonna go so and say, well, look, Andre. No, I'm saying it bold. And let me tell you something. I'm going to wait here. And Sherma will probably comment on what I said. She also said something that I didn't say. He and we best friend was on different planes. I wouldn't even say who that best friend was, whatever. But I'm telling you, Carl, had I stayed in GBN, I would have been the manager of GBN today. And by golly, GBN would have been the best thing, or continued to be the best thing in Grenada. Believe it or not. I would have brought back people like Sherma to work at GBN. Brought her back. Come back here. Let's rock the world. And I'm not talking about us being on air. No. I'm talking about us guiding people, young people who are on air and doing this thing. That's the problem down there. They have the resources and they don't know. Let somebody put some resources in my hands. At this particular point in time, somebody put some resources in my hands and I'm able to at least do a bit of the creative things I want to do and dabble a bit in television. Are you crazy?
Look, I see somebody right here, Dre. Good morning. This song was written for Sparrow. And he didn't want it.
That's true.
So, what I don't get with Slinger? This song was written for Slinger, I didn't want it. The another big song in my view, Voices from the Ghetto, should have been Slinger's.
Yeah, that was his. He didn't want it to.
So the Slinger didn't. So you reached a stage in the career, you didn't want no more big songs then?
No, it wasn't that. He was not a judge of good tunes. He was more making fun with the music. You're just having more fun than anything
Like
else.
Ronaldinho.
Yeah, just having fun. So you see, she almost say, haul your tail, not me. She wouldn't have come back, but damn, I would have had her back. I don't care what you would have taken. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Andrew Donald. Good
Morning, Camille Teresa Scott.
Good morning.
Morning.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm good.
Yes, thank God for the breath of life. Good morning to my Prime Minister. Sometimes show my good morning and Patty and Mr. Watts and everybody. I just saying good morning. Mr. Donald, Miss Lady having a big meeting this afternoon. I just hear a man saying that they're on the radio. They tell my Thomas, they say everybody come out and carry me food. I think I can follow them and sorry I can't make it. Because I used to go all about when all this was last election. You know,
Yeah, I think Peter David is expected to speak there, so too is Emlyn
Peter,
Perry.
good morning if you're listening. Somebody tell him I say good morning and I know you have your back, sir. Yes, I'm praying for everyone I have because Mr. Donald, I can't take these people and them coming to terrorize people, poor people as me in this country. I don't know. I don't hear these people saying what they go do for Grenada and you have some ignorant people posting all things on Facebook and cursing the Prime Minister. I hear some young man from Vincent that sit on my phone. If I could have, it's because I have my phone, you know, I don't want to pelt it. All dirty things they say, but people have respect for people in authority at all in Grenada. I don't know what to do this young people and them no respect. Anyhow, everybody have a good day. Your land morning, sweetie pie.
All right, love.
Mr. Wanda, everybody, and my nephew in Shanty Mel Jerry, good morning. That boy is even saying thanks when I send something for him.
Don't worry, man. He
Anyhow,
loves you still.
I know in my good nephew in all of them, that's one I always like. You have a lot of respect for me still, though. Auntie Carmen? Yeah. Anyhow, Mr. Donald, you take it easy. And Mr. Krishna, Sunday morning I did enjoy you. You know, you lit my spirit Sunday when you was on.
Thank you very kind.
Continue, sir, continue.
Yeah, it's my intention.
Zephyrin says good morning, Cammy.
It's my intention so to do.
Continue.
Cammy.
Hey?
Zephyrin says good morning.
Zephyrin, good morning, boy. I don't know me food, boy, me 2 foot. I could hardly walk, but I'm still going in town and sit down.
Yeah, well, do what you gotta do, my love.
Yes, and everybody have a good day. Winston White, good morning too. Everybody. And all you go and register because I'm really praying for a victory, a big victory. My Prime Minister, good morning again. And Peter, take it easy, everybody. Bye-bye. Love you all, guys.
Love you. Take care.
Beautiful Grenada. Look at I see the ages of elderly people that live in the village. Look, they cleaning the sides by midday. You know, just a wonderful thing to see these people out. And you have some people say that you don't have work. They don't see what they're doing. I don't know if they're blind. I don't know if they're sick. I don't know what do these people giving Grenada a bad name and beautiful place. I have a friend that come from England. She wish she had a place to stay here. She loved Grenada, oh God. Anyhow, I do have a good day. And let's pray for that little piece of rock of ours. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Cammy. Take care of yourself.
All right, take care.
Yolan, my darling, you must call me, just let me chat one day.
All right,
Bye-bye.
take care. Right, good.
And you're jealous, you know.
No, I don't jealous you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Somebody say good morning to the king of radio. Even though they didn't hear your song on radio. The people know. Andre Donald.
But to the king of
Andre Donald.
What?
All roads leads to Maryville today. Why you thinking here?
Today's Dugo's birthday.
Dugo.
Yeah.
Be blessed today, man.
Yeah. I consider him to be the young king. Yeah, I consider him to be a young king.
Young king. Yeah, all road leads to Maryville today, Andre Donald. Would you be going to Maryville and cover the event?
No.
Okay.
No, I was not asked to.
Okay.
And as you know, covering an event is not an easy task.
I know.
You know, you have to make sure that all I's are dotted and T's are crossed before you even think about, leaving to go. It's not an easy thing. And one of the things I hate about this, and I've been doing it for so very long, is this. I'm the first to get there, the last to leave.
Yeah.
That's not easy, and that is really not easy. And I've gotten to the stage that I do what is necessary, Carl. And other things like this, folks who would want, like live broadcasts and so, folks have to know that they cost. They cost. To have the good quality that you'd expect, they cost. So, no, I was not asked. Good morning. Hello?
Hello, good morning, Mr. Donald. How are you doing?
Morning, sir.
And good morning, Mr. Peyton.
Morning to you, bro.
Mr. Donald, I'm seeking permission from you, sir, to throw out something on behalf of the people from the Northwest constituency.
I'm listening to you, sir.
Yeah, I'm the Honorable Delma Thomas, the Queen of the constituency, the leader of our constituency, the conscience of the NNP, and the heart of the party. She will be having her first political meeting, big meeting this evening at Maribor Pasture. Asking everybody in all nook and cranny in the constituency to come out. We will be having a battery of speakers. The talented and dynamic Sister Kate Lewis will be there. Fiery Sister Emlyn Pierre and Brother Peter David will also be there. The Honorable Delma Thomas will be revealing what our continued plans will be, and to give us a rundown as to what our church for the past 4 years. We know her capability, we know what we have, you understand? And we will continue with the momentum with her at the lead. Have a good morning, my brother, and thank you. And I do believe the kaiso that you played there, Progress was written by a fella called Winston Devine, alias Joker. Have a good day, sir.
Yes, one love.
Good.
The book Progress, written by Jemani from Trinidad and Lincoln Toro Depredine from Grenada, of course, is a must-read. Instrumental is Winsford Devine, the Joker, receiving royalties for some of the songs. Most of them were done by the Birdie, you know that?
Yeah, but Winsford Devine just actually recognition and the body.
He didn't get it. He didn't get the recognition that he deserved.
He didn't want money, just want the body to say, well, Winsford the right in. You're $100 political Wednesday. What's up politically?
The politically, what's up is that big thing in relation to the BVI and what the United Kingdom wants to do. Have you read that?
Yeah, the United Kingdom suggesting to take over the rule for the next 2 years. Because it seemed like they had some, and prior to this arrest of the gentleman, I think they had a commission of inquiries. 1,000-page document was released based on the dealings of Foy. And the British is now saying, which I don't agree with, if Foy do his stupidness, let the law take care of Foy. But to punish the whole BVI for Foy, to me, don't make any sense. To take back British control is like punishing everybody for what they allege Foy.
But who gives you the right to take back anything?
It's like the same thing like who does give amnesty the right to say the whole words.
But I don't think the Caribbean leaders, CARICOM is never going to be in favor of something like that. I await a statement from CARICOM. We've heard individual leaders speaking.
Yes.
but I witnessed a statement from CARICOM in relation to that. Because I believe the Caribbean community of coaches is CARICOM. They have a responsibility to speak out on this. You know, but Andrew, that same guy, it is said that he's singing like a canary.
Yes.
That is what is being said.
Because if you listen to the whole thing with Foy, it seems like a good movie could be made out of that thing, eh?
And he's based on his discourse. He is speaking and saying that other Caribbean leaders are involved in this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he has accused the United Kingdom of framing him, assisted by the United States.
What he's saying now?
That's what he's saying.
But if you listen to some of the information that is coming out as to his dealings with the undercover people, he was asking them a lot of questions because he had some suspicion of his own, you know. In so much as he tried to bullshit them, I tell them he believe in this thing, he could watch a man and know when he lying, all kind of thing. But that was an operation being done a while now. And others who like the other person arrested and the son of the other person, you kind of ask yourself, why ought to have known the dealings of these people? And it is also alleged that these people used to come along as far south as the Cornell territory and do business.
Say that again? I didn't hear you. I seriously didn't hear that one. I heard the Cornell.
No, it is alleged that the son of the lady in question used to be as far south as the Cornell's territory doing business.
By the Cornell, you mean St. Vincent?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because when you look at this thing was all Foy was required to do is to create a safe or to create a bubble in the place for the thing, you know. And based on mathematics and based on how much at the same time, 7 million is 10% of the spoils. Yeah.
And that's what Foy would get?
Yeah, 10% of the spoils every time. And they would do it for a couple of months and then stop. And then let some come and let Foy law enforcement get it to make Foy look good fighting down the thing. It's a real business plan. At some stage, Foy is also hold some of them small thing on them. The law enforcement they had to.
Did he?
He didn't reach to that point yet. So he's also let a lot pass, get it 10%, and then hold some. So they go say these men and them law enforcement down there on edge because they walk in, because they hold that. And then when the thing, I kind of visit on the carnival over Foy get it 10%. But what Foy not do with all the funds?
I don't know. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning to you and Master Call.
Yeah, man.
Well, I join you today's Political Wednesday.
Yes.
I heard Mr. Dara say something what is so true this morning about the people of St. Patrick not making use of enough of the radio. I quite agree with that. And when I jump in on a regular basis, some of them meeting me, they like radio too much. And they wouldn't even make a contribution. They wouldn't even say nothing. But they're telling me I like radio. So sometimes I remain there and I just listen. Mr. Dan, I want to ask you what happened to what number you was using on Sunday, because I tried to reach you on KB and on 017 I wasn't getting through. I don't know if I was calling the wrong number.
I don't know what you were calling, so I can't tell you were calling the wrong number. You didn't get us, and that's
I
unfortunate.
you use another number because I called
No, we didn't change. We don't change the number.
I wanted to get to the program and I didn't get you.
We don't change the numbers now.
I heard you made a statement yesterday which is so correct. That lawyers don't be very good politicians. That run back to my mind in 1973 when the late Sir Eric Matthew Gary said to me at Montreal, he said, liars don't be good politicians. I said, because at the same time he said, look, Senator Derek Knight, minister without portfolio, was asking him at the time. So I give the country for at least a month. Let me deal with some fellas who are trying to emerge against you. So I said, no, Mr. Knight. Prayer is the greatest weapon God given man. No, Mr. And Mr. Knight was behind him to let him act as Prime Minister for a while. And from that time, Philip, lawyers don't be very good. And I heard you mention that yesterday. So I'm telling you, you made some very, very good statement because I remember that as a little boy. I could never forget the day he told me so. Lola, I say Bishop was a lawyer, and who was like, he was mentioning it, they are not very good politicians. And today, we are seeing it because we have a man aspiring for leader of another party in Grenada, and he indicates that clearly he don't know nothing about governance of a country, because I heard him still mentioning about, that no contract workers, if he happen to form a government, there will be no contract workers. And he's still talking about this pension money which the government should pay. So this man hasn't got a clue. If I want in Grenadians, if we give him, if these people give him a chance, they will crash the country blindly. Grenada will be in a mess. So that's why every time I get the opportunity, I want my people. I do it on target, the midday program, I do it whenever I get to, Master Carl, I don't know if you agree with me. This man will crash the country blindly because he does not know what it takes to rule a country. I don't know if you agree with me. Thank you.
The people know. And based on what the caller said, Trey, that is a matter I intended to raise this morning. The leader of the Democratic Congress, in the pronouncement made by the Senator Lewis on Labor Day, as to the matter, the Koyaba issue matter, and I'll give him that, he was skilled enough to use a loophole in the law. And now, when you follow the money and you follow everything, you understand where I'm coming from. I'm building a case here now, so listen to me. When he came on the scene, a lot was touted about his age. We know what his age is. He indicated, should he be successful, he consider 2 terms. So if you add 2 terms to his present age, he still be 50-something, eh?
54.
Okay. If he is using a loophole in the law now to work against workers, and that is fact, I don't manufacture that because the evidence is there, and you give him power, so would he not create more loopholes? Because when he's 54, he'll go back into practice, eh?
Well, he's in his prime.
So I just tell you, so that is a reason more to be very, very circumspect with this gentleman concerned. Because if he has the ability now to use a loophole in the law to work against workers, and that is facts, I don't say that about him because I don't support him politically. I'm saying that because it's facts. And the Koyaba case would bear me out. And a loophole he used there now, and you give him power to make laws, it is instructive to know that he would create or could create more loopholes, because he know after he make 2 terms, he going back into private practice, so he have more road to run in on the workers. So we have to be circumspect. We have to be circumspect. And putting that into the broader issue of pension, because he is touting that he will pay. But if he using the loophole now to work against one worker so far, What's stopping him from working against, if let's say the public service is 6,000 persons, and when we're talking about 6,000 persons, anything what would affect that 6,000 persons, it is easy to amplify wife, 2 children. That's 24,000 people. So if he's using a loophole now to work against one person livelihood, one person future, and you give him power, he now could create loopholes to work against at least 25,000 people in the society. So looking at this thing is not just looking at it simply and looking at it for, against, and caller. That is not an issue of caller here. That is an issue of the antecedents of the man. So if he's willing now to use loophole to work against the worker, and his track record so far is representing big business against the working class. Hands down, that is his track record. So it's not an issue of I just want to say that because me and him is not politically aligned. That is facts. And the senator brought it up, so it was not brought up by an operative of the NNP to say it's an NNP thing, NNP saying. Because when the senator speaks and take action against the government, the same set of people just tout him as a patriot. So let's think, but let we, even if we do worrying about the messenger, let me take the message. The message is the leader of the Congress, the Democratic Congress, is willing to use loopholes in the laws of the land to work against workers. And if you read the written judgment in that case, you would recognize he's using loopholes. So you give him power now and he could create law.
Just one thing, it's Calabash and not Cuyaba.
Calabash, sorry, folks. Calabash. Sorry, Cuyaba.
Right.
Calabash.
Calabash and not Cuyaba.
Yeah, Calabash.
That's
So,
one thing.
yeah, let me hear.
I really and truly, I tell you something, I can't. When we finished yesterday morning,
yeah,
you know, I touched a bit on Mr. Mitchell,
yeah,
and his discourse of
Barbados,
yeah, the no direction,
yeah,
and thing, and Ron Redhead,
yeah,
sent a message on the chat, and he says, thanks for the publicity, or some statement to that effect. And I kept wondering, and I'm still wondering, what is Ron speaking of? Ron, I've never met you. I've met your father. Your father and I worked at GBN together. So, and may he rest until that time when, well, he has transitioned. So he would have gone to the elders. Your turn and my turn to the elders, that will come. I respected him and still respect him today. The memory of him, I respect Ron. So if you listen, I want you to get this straight, Ron. And because of your father, you may not get as harsh of a beating that I will give others. And that's because your father, you know, I respect him. So I kind of respect you as like a son of mine to Ron. But you're in the wrong camp. And the only reason, Ron, why you are now the candidate is because Tobias, did not follow suit. He decided that, no, I'm going to run, but I'm not going to run under your umbrella. If Tobias had decided he was going to run for the National Democratic Congress, Ron, you would not have been the candidate. You are a young man. You have your whole life ahead of you, Ron. I tell you one thing. Don't spoil your life. Let me explain this to you. Most meter boards, like I'm looking at right now in front of me, this meter board, and if you look at, those of you looking at the stream, look at the meter board in the picture where Carl is, and you see it fluctuating there. The meter board is green. And green means, in this case, good. When the meter board starts to hit orange or yellow, it will show up as orange on your thing. But when the meter board starts to reach orange, it means that I'm shouting. So it's not good. You who choose to call me, if you want to wait there, wait. You can wait until the program. You have credit. Call me at this time. It's not good at that time, Ron. Once you pass green, Ron, I say to you, understand how this thing is. And with the talent and so that you have as an individual, go into the house of Nimrod Oliver. Because his wing in the house has room for you, Ron. And go on the live, and because you're on the live, then you'll see that Sherma Wells has said his father was a good NNP before he crossed over. Your father was an NNP too, Ron. So that is the milk that you drink, the NNP milk. That's what have you strong so today, Ron. You understand? Brother, I respect you. And I know that you mean well, but you with the wrong grouping. You understand that? You with the wrong grouping. And Ron, the person, Carl, I want you to listen to this one, for him. The person that you're doing the walkabouts with in that constituency, Ron, stop and check yourself. Stop and check yourself. Realize whether or not that you're doing the right thing, my brother. No, you're not. Let me tell you, Sherma Wells lives in that constituency. Yeah? Do you think with the person that you doing that walkabout with, that you could walk in front Sherma's door? Think about it. There are so many people that have been offended by your companion. By your companion, so many people have been offended. It's like if I giving you advice, man, let me leave you alone. You're a big man. Let me leave you alone. Let me talk to my people. Delma Thomas meeting this evening. What time? 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock, Carl? You going?
No, I don't go. Why aren't you giving too much credence to Ron and them?
I'm not giving credence to Ron. I'm giving advice to Ron.
You're giving too much advice to Ron.
Okay, right. I just said I stop.
Let you pay for your fastenings.
Okay.
So I don't see why you're going out of your way to try to help Ron when Ron is going in a way where he so choose to. And he have matters of more importance for the Grenadian public to know in relation to the leader of the group Ron is with, using loophole to work against the working class people of Grenada, and then you're saying you're going to make all them permanent. These are the issues I think you should tell in the people other than what Ron want to do. If Ron want to go down that road and take people where he can't go people's house with, leave Ron. As he say publicity, he looking for publicity, don't give him free publicity. Because Ron is not a threat to anything, so don't give him free publicity, Andrew.
Sherma, you have this one wrong. Nimrod's lunch is next Thursday, Sherma, not this Thursday. And Sherma, you have to know that NNP would not come from a massive meeting today, Wednesday, and do another massive one like that on Thursday. You understand? Sherms, get it together, girl. What happened? Sherma, again, hola. It's Thursday. I could die for that statement I just made there. What? A friend of mine just sent me a statement they call what? Afraid of duck, you know?
Right.
No, I can't tell you. Okay. That is a personal thing. Wow. It's like BAM! Anyway.
Another issue again.
No. I want you to... Do you remember yesterday we were traveling together?
Yes,
now who this person? I will answer you and just leave you right there. I'm on air right now. You should know that. Remember yesterday we were traveling together to Eastern Paradise?
Yeah.
And we picked up a gentleman who gave us some very important information. You don't remember that?
We picked up that gentleman.
We picked up a gentleman and he gave us some very important information. Do you remember? We picked him up in Canny Gap, just after Mede's Junction. He was going to Hermitage.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember? Yes or no? But you concentrated on something else and you're not with me, so you're not remembering.
No, I don't remember what the gentleman actually saying.
You don't remember when you commented so much after he spoke?
Yeah, but a lot of things does occupy my mind too. Maybe if you jog my memory.
No. Well, we are speaking to Trajan.
Yes.
From Stone Road.
Mm-hmm.
What did he
yeah,
speak
but
about?
I speak to a lot of people during the day, you know. So if you jog my memory, I'll get it. But sometimes I just do thing. You know.
If I jog your memory now, it would seem like I'm coercing you to say something. So I'm not going to coerce you to say anything.
For you.
Yeah. I know that. If I have to jog your memories, it's something that was yesterday. And something that we spoke about even after the gentleman got out of the vehicle. And I have to dig your memory now to think. I would just say this, that based on the information that the gentleman gave, it is looking very promising for Victor Philip in the Stone Road area. That's all I could say. And if that can't jog your memory, then nothing else will. And your memory is not being jogged because you continue to allow yourself to be distracted by the pen. But remember, okay, well, I guess you know the pen is mightier than the sword. So I guess that's why you focusing your attention on that. No reply from you either?
Well, you give your opinion, Andre. The gentleman spoke yesterday about the constituency of St. Patrick's West as it relates to persons gravitating towards the NNP, which is a very good thing. However, we have to understand that him saying things are looking very up for Victor Philip in the Stone Road area is not a reason not to do what we have to do in terms of going out and meeting people, in terms of getting people to register. But it was heartening to hear the fact, because one of the narratives being peddled at St. Patrick's West was a liability to the NNP. But in recent times, it seems like Victor Philip is gaining some momentum in a lot of areas, which includes Hermitage, the Hermitage area. And with the gentleman...
Your memory got jogged.
No, well, you just go all about it. You just go all about it.
Your memory got jogged. Great. Morning, Maxine.
Morning.
How you doing?
Okay.
Great. Nice to see you, bro. Your good friend in Radio Call says the onset of old age. It's there in the chat. You'll see it. Shoma Wells attacking you.
Well, that's Shoma Wells' opinion. Shoma is entitled to her opinion, but not her truth.
But it's her truth.
No, man. The truth is only the truth unpainted, man.
No, but it was nice to hear from Trajan that that there is support for the NNP and Victor Philip in the Stone Road area.
Yeah.
And a lot of support, and that was good to hear from him yesterday. It was really, really heartening news, if you put it that way.
And he sounded very confident, was not?
Yeah, he was confident. He was very, very confident.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen Trajan in almost 3 years, you know. I hadn't seen him. It was nice to see him, and it shows that he's still on top of his game in terms of understanding what is happening in his little village in the St. Patrick West constituency. So all kudos to Merrill John. Merrill John, good morning to you. How you doing? Do you know Merrill?
Nah.
Nice darky. From the Stone Road area. Yeah. Nice darky from. Okay, Harold Douglas is asking, where is Stone Road? Okay, how would you describe that? Traveling from Sateers, Harold, as you come down Google Belly Hill, that is no longer Google Belly Hill. I don't know how you call it. How you call it now? Google Belly Highway?
Yeah.
Yeah. As you come down, as you come down Google Belly Hill, there is a right-hand road. And that road can take you, if you follow it through, it can take you back up to the top of Google Belly Hill.
So if Harold was around a long time, you know where Mr. Elton shop was?
Elton, yeah.
That
Mr.
road
Elton.
going up inside.
Mr. Elton was an Indian guy, right? Yeah.
You could pass at the top of Google Belly Hill and drive down that road too.
Yeah, and drive down that road, it will take you there. Right.
The Richmond Lane, Richmond, other people who live inside that area there. Brother Bone and some Adventist people
who lived at the other end, at the top of Google Belly Hill. There was a contractor who lived in that. Sheriff. Who's Sheriff? Hardline's brother.
Yeah.
Mr. Wells.
Yeah.
What was his first name again? Can't remember, but yeah, Sheriff. He lived at the top there. That's on
Lennox.
Yeah, Lennox could be. Yeah, Lennox Wells. So he lived at the top there. That is the top of of that. Well, just as you get past his home, then is that left hand road that takes you down to Richmond and Merrill and so down there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, Harold. So you got the info. Chantemel, how's that going, you think? Have you heard anything inside from out of Chantemel?
I started hearing good news from Chantemel.
Really?
Yeah.
Good, that's wonderful.
And I want to say to the people of Chantemel, country ought to come first in everything, and then party. So even though you might have your little hang-ups with whosoever, at the end of the day, you have to support and vote for your party. And it's my intention to make a walk through Chantemel also.
Okay. I like how you put it, because I put it like that to a lot of people. You don't have to fall in love with a politician. And let's localize it here to St. Patrick West, Carl. You don't have to fall in love with Victor Philip. Mm-hmm. You already love and respect your party.
Yes.
That's the first thing.
And the Prime Minister, the leadership.
The leader, you see, leadership and the party come way before the candidate. Do you understand? So you love and you respect your party, you love and you respect the leadership, your prime minister, you're not prime minister, your political leader. He is the one who is guiding you through the process. He's the one who is saying to you, okay, fine, this is what's going to happen here. This is how this should happen. Yes, you, the electorate, you have a voice. And you can say to him, hey, chief, could we have this? Mm-hmm. And he can look at it and say, I cannot, and I cannot give this to you because it can spell disaster if I give this to you. This is better. Mm-hmm. Do you understand? This is better for you at this time. And that is what is happening. So the first thing, get a grip of it, support your party, support your political leader. And if you live in a constituency that you ain't too tight with the candidate, forget that. On that day, you want your party. It's about the symbol. You want your house. You and the candidate who you will make the representative, you all will sort out things down the road. There will be discussions and you all will sort things out down the road.
Because you cannot be touting your prime minister and political leader and then saying you don't vote in. That don't make any sense. And you have to ensure that for the good of the country, that is why I say country first. For the good of the country, and you know, and you could testify the fact that the present Prime Minister and the team of the NNP is best suited at this time to lead Grenada. So any other things could be fixed. Likability of the candidate and other things could be fixed. But you cannot make the cardinal mistake like in 2008 and worry about small matters when the bigger picture is all about Grenada and all about taking Grenada on the continued path it is on. So NNP persons have to realize, yes, we cannot pretend here and we wouldn't come on radio and pretend say that everything is hunky, everything is nice. Everybody, no. We accept that fact. But those things you making issue about is things that could be fixed easy.
Them things go get fixed.
But damage to the country is not an easy fix.
Nope.
So you cannot allow damage to the country as to punish one individual.
Yeah. You cannot sacrifice the country for one person.
No.
No, you can't do that. You deal with it now in terms of you go out and you support your party. And there are ways in which you can put forward your case.
And NNP people are known to speak their mind. So there comes a time when you will be able to speak your mind and get redressed. But now is not the time to look to punish any one person or individual at the expense of the good governance of the country. And that ought to be understood. Another point I want to get on, we was here last Friday, Andre, and we saw the situation in Gov. I want to make that point here now so people could understand. The representative of the Congress in St. John's was there carrying out live, and if you, to the representative of St. John and to the people of St. John, understand this. The representative for the Congress, the National Democratic Congress, was there and did nothing for conflict resolution. As a matter of fact, her camera lady, the police had to threaten to arrest her for she to keep she ass quiet.
Wow, you're gone.
And that is the kind of people
so she
we
was
have.
jackassing the thing.
She did jackassing the thing right through. Trying, when the police, I understand the police officer, the ASP was trying to bring some structure to the thing. He was advocating to, the camera lady was advocating to the representative of the Congress not to work together with the police to get the thing. And that's what we seen. We seen persons of the Congress just jumping in thing. We see the one in South Central jumping in the thing where they disrespect the police, they throw water on the police, they hit the police with bottle, all kind of thing. And I was speaking nothing to tell the people and them, no, that is not the way to get things happening. That is, show all your leadership. I'm not talking about change, but every time an opportunity comes for members of the Congress to prove to the Grenadian people that they want to work on things, people you helping escalate, you always supporting wrongdoing. It's time you stop this thing. And we saw it on, so they promote it on social media, blocking the road and doing all kind of nonsense in Gov. And even when the police talking to the camera and telling you, don't worry, the police, when the police will go arrest you, then you're thinking, do jackass the thing. All you keeping out change. So that the kind of change you asking people for? To create anarchy and instability. So somebody living to go to work, roadblock, they can't go and you're touting and jumping up. You won't say, well, yes, I understand you have an issue and you need to get it deal with, but that is not the way to deal with it. No, you're encouraging it. And then you come and tell the Grenadian people and then we want a change. So why we want a change for stupidness? It's time to stop that. And that is facts what I'm saying here. I don't making up this thing and them. And the evidence is clear because we could call the police and them down there and get the whole thing or the camera lady getting along there, a camera woman. And you being the leader of the Congress down there, letting a camera woman direct you. Weak leadership already, you know. I mean, leadership abideth not in you, you know. When you should be on top of the situation and use that opportunity to show people in Guav that are really for you. So I go, listen, we have to protest. I'll get to the bottom of this thing, but that is not how we're doing it. That is the approach you have to take. Not jumping up and reggae it on social media and hope you're getting forward. You don't get in forward. You're just exposing yourself as a weak person, unworthy of the people who among the vote. All you need to stop that. In recent times again, and the RGPF now, according to the RGPF, I have to understand one thing. The man what he have, all the leaking the thing, come back to work. You have a particular print media. Every week there's something on the police now. So there was an issue with a police officer and some summons and so on, which I don't want to go to that, but there was a meeting held by the High Command. Michael Francois Tafawape and Mitchell.
The three of them.
And a last person.
And another person.
Yeah, another person. 4 of them. Michael Francois is a deputy commissioner. He wouldn't call a meeting and leak it to that media house.
And he's the most senior deputy commissioner, correct?
Yeah. Taff wouldn't, I know Taff and
forget
I could vouch
Taff
on
would
Taff.
not do that.
I know John Mitchell and he wouldn't do that. So the next man, and that was the same man what encouraged the whole stupidness in Guav in the first time. So they come back to work now, so all information in that media house.
I tell you what,
and that media house tends to big up that officer every time and saying how he's the most senior at his rank and they're looking past him.
But you know what is interesting is that for a long period, or for the length of that individual's
holiday,
vacation, whatever you want to call it, that newspaper was not having frontline news on the po.
No.
As soon as that person come back from vacation, well, that newspaper become relevant again.
And I don't know what is the point of that newspaper trying to damage the RGPF. There was this in recent time. There was this story about some female police officer, and I listened and I read it because I don't usually.
You listen or you read it?
I listened to it on somebody was commenting what was written.
Okay.
And I read it because I think. And out of those things, it was mentioned that 2 officers on the west in Gabardine, that means you over the rank of sergeant, so inspector upwards. We call it khaki, but it's Gabardine.
Okay.
And there's only 2 Gabardine officers on the west presently. My good friend Bascom.
Yeah, Mr. Bascom, yeah.
And the guy in Sotes, Roy Nelson.
Yeah.
And those allegations cannot be attached to these 2 gentlemen. So the newspaper again trying to damn it, because when you say 2 senior officers in Gabardine who are in charge of stations on the west, there's only 2. There's Bascom and Nelson. So what the newspaper is tarnishing the reputation of these 2 gentlemen. You understand how? So if the 4th person was on the meeting on the foot, giving information to that newspaper writing that is a serious indictment on the character of Bascom and Nelson, which is so unfair to these 2 men. And if the issue writing off was an old issue, now listen to me here. I'm in no way agreeing that senior officers are to take advantage of women police officers.
Anybody, senior, junior, whatever.
I'm in no way supporting that. However, when reporting, don't put this allegation, don't lay it in a way that it could be pointed at the people. And the only 2 officers, in Gabardine on the west is Bascom and Nelson. So what are you saying? So if somebody read it and they know that the only two men, so is that they say that the two men are doing that, the newspaper have to be responsible. And who giving them information have to be responsible. So I don't know, something about this plumber ought to be thing, and then surprisingly 4 men in the meeting and 1 man being praised by the same newspaper.
I'll say one thing to you, brother. You need to, it's moving to 6 minutes. Read the last comment on the chat. You need to read it and then you'll reply to it. I'm not going to read it for you. I know you have your phone there. Quickly read it. Found it?
Not as yet.
The last comment on the chat. Read it. It's a Facebook comment, I can tell you. English lesson. Thank you very much for the English lesson, Mr. Marvin Andel. Tsunami, the T is silent. Honest, the H is silent. Psychology, the P is silent. Knife, the K is silent. Wife.
Masakal is speaking on those issues because he's done the research.
What are you replying to the statement? You seen it?
Yeah.
Okay, go on. Read the statement.
Why is Masakal defending these officers without investigating?
All right, stop right there. And I want you to stop. I'm not trying to embarrass you or anything or to thing you. Let me tell that person, because you read the statement, I want you to read it so I can answer a bit of it. I remember you saying to me over the past 2 days, Jay, there's this thing that I have to speak about, but I cannot speak to it until I speak to a couple of people. Even yesterday, you alluded to that. And now that you've given the information, it means that you've spoken to the people, you've done your homework, correct?
But Dre, the fact that I could tell you that it's only Bascom and Nelson in Gabardine on the west tells you I have a handle of the story. The mere fact that I could tell you at present is Bascom and Nelson are the Gabardine officers on the west tells you I know what I'm speaking about. The fact that I could say that Taft, Francois, Mitchell and another gentleman was in the meeting on the foot, and as the meeting was done, the newspaper know what was discussed in the meeting because I know I could tell you that.
So you did your investigation.
So Adam maybe doesn't like to hear what I'm saying. But confront me, rebut me. Tell me what I'm saying is not what it is. It's simple, you know, just do your investigation and come and say, Masakal, you see that, and that is not true. Tell me it's not Bascom and Nelson as Gabardine men on the west. Tell me the newspaper didn't make reference to persons in charge, Gabardine men in charge on the west. That's what you have to do. Don't come and ask me if I do my investigation. The mere fact that I could tell you who are the men who are on the west tells you I know what I'm speaking of. But like I say, before I made my promise that in no way, shape or form I would advocate senior or any other police officers taking advantage on junior officers. But when reporting those things, don't try to smudge people. If you have to call out people, I agree, call them out, let it be fixed. But you don't lay things and make it point like circumstantial evidence. Don't make it point in a particular when you know that is not what it is. So if you get the information from the WPC as you claim, and you know they call him, you ought to know, do make it sound like persons who are in it. And Bascom and Nelson there on the west. I want to say senior men in Gabardine on the west in charge of things. Because Nelson in charge of Southwest Police Station and Bascom is 2 IC in charge of the Western Division. So don't ask me if I do my investigation. Because I do my investigation, I'm speaking on it.
$30 seconds.
You see, people down here have a kind of way of sensationalism. And anything that they feel go give them a forward, just speak, and whoever he tarnish, he tarnish. But I've been a part of the law enforcement thing, and I won't stand idly by and let all do them that. I go speak. So if you feel by asking me if I investigate, go shut me up, you have a long wait. You have a long wait. If you feel like go shut up my second, you don't walk in so. What I say, I say. And when I speak, I speak.
Carl Caton. Read again. You need to. The latest comment.
Well, if that person say they have false information, that will call a recent complaint. So you're a very important person in a case. If you say you have false information, what are you doing with it? You sitting down there and don't let nothing happen?
Yeah.
You have something they call a recent complaint. The first person what know. So you in charge, you're doing an injustice to the people. Because you use an important weakness if you have that information. They call that recent complaint. So don't want to put that here about people on the west and so on. Let it be known. If they have to be prosecuted, do it. Don't want to tell me you have information. That old talk. That's what I see. You're trying to smudge the people on them. You don't have no information. You only talking talk. Wow. Oh, the information. Oh, officer. It may not be stationed on the west. But the newspaper say on the west. So why call it it may not? The newspaper outline persons in charge on the west. And that is a fact. Go and read the article again if you don't think. You need to do investigation. You have false and information. So you have recent complaint and you're doing nothing about it. Well, you don't like the person who will tell you that. If you have false and information and you don't do nothing now, you don't like the person should realize, no, you're not somebody who like them. That person has to stop talking to you, because if they could tell you that and you just sit down there with it and then you're looking to come and say that no, you don't make any sense, you're jackassing the thing.
Because the person could be reaching out for help.
Yeah, that person is an important person in the recent complaint.
It's a pity you ain't have your name there. We could have sent the police to talk to you.
When they tell you that, you give real evidence. Evidence is not hearsay. Real thing.
That is first hand, eh? You say
so stop jackassing anything. If you have information, do something about it. All they want to come on thing and thing. Don't come here with this kind of thing. When you come in good. You don't come in good. Because you're just putting yourself in a situation that you're a hypocrite. Because every person who come and tell you that and you're waiting to see that on the radio and confront Master Carl who know you don't doing them no justice. Stop it. Stop jackassing the thing. That's all I have to say to the Andrew.
What is your problem, Max? Seeing you laugh? People seeing you laughing, you know.
That's okay. I nice smile, so.
Smile? That's not smile. That's laugh. Anyway, goodbye. Virgin. Goodbye. Is that it? This way you want to end it?
Yeah, anyhow.
No. I want to know, because people say you think, you know. People just start to comment on your thing, yeah. Or you want to but we can take the news and take a little commercial break and give you a breather and then come back. You know?
Yes.
You want that?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll take the news and then we'll take a commercial break, give you a little breather, and we'll be right back, friends. Stay with us.
Triple N. Informative, entertaining, and first. Every hour on the hour.
This is the latest news update as produced by Triple N. Details when we return.
Good morning, Grenlec Meter Reader.
Morning, Mr. Meterman. I'm glad I caught you. Last month, I got a very high bill, and I don't understand why.
Last month, we were not able to access your meter, so we had to estimate the bill.
So, what can I do to ensure that my meter is easily accessible?
Well, you can get your licensed electrician to move your meter outside of the gate or directly in front of the house.
Well, I'll consider that.
Grenlec, energizing our Grenada.
Welcome back locally. The Hillsborough Botanical Garden Revitalization Project in Carriacou was officially launched over the weekend, signaling the start of beautification and celebrating major strides made on the project to date.
In the region, the president of the Antigua and Barbuda Nurses Association is reiterating calls for greater incentives for nurses and community health aides, noting that more and more of them are seeking opportunities outside of Antigua and Barbuda. Around the globe, Africa's first COVID vaccine plant risks closure after no orders.
Africa's first COVID-19 vaccine manufacturing plant risks shutting down after receiving not a single order, said an Aspen executive a few days ago. South Africa's pharmaceutical company negotiated a licensing deal in November to be able to package and sell Johnson & Johnson's COVID-19 vaccine throughout the continent. This announcement is bad news for Africa, which, according to data shared by the WHO in March, has vaccinated just 15% of its adult population. It also seriously threatens the African Union's goal to locally produce 60% of all its vaccines by 2040. The director of the African Centre for Disease Control and Prevention told the Financial Times that if this plant closed down, it would send a very poor signal to other companies on the continent willing to manufacture vaccines. The Regional Health Agency also recently reminded less than 1% of vaccines administered in Africa were made locally, exposing countries to more risks during health crises.
And in sports, Celta Vigo striker Santi Mina has been sentenced to 4 years in prison after being found guilty of sexual abuse. Mina, 26, will appeal against the verdict and jailed if the appeal fails. This ends the latest news update as produced by Triple N. I was your presenter, Maxine Entwine, thanking you for joining us.
Triple N. Informative, entertaining, and first. Every hour on the hour.
Dynamism is key. Join us, Michi and
Shoma on Elevate.
Elevate every Thursday night from 7 to 8 on this station
and on your favorite social media platform.
Empowering minds with relevant information.
Elevate to the next level.
People focused, people centric.
Elevate with us
as we elevate with you, taking it to the next level.
Good morning, Grand Lake Meter Reader.
Morning, Mr. Meterman. I'm glad I caught you. Last month, I got a very high bill, and I don't understand why.
Last month, we were not able to access your meter, so we had to estimate the bill.
So what can I do to ensure that my meter is easily accessible?
Well, you can get your licensed electrician to move your meter outside of the gate or directly in front of the house.
Well,
we got the call on our way home that something was wrong. When we got here, we saw that the entire house was engulfed in flames. Just sitting there and looking at you, basically a whole life investment going up in flames. It did take a toll on us as a family. Once we decided to rebuild, the thought came up to use the Housing Authority of Grenada. After they sent in their quotation, which we thought was very, very reasonable, we decided to go with Housing Authority of Grenada. They were very helpful. They visited the site weekly. The staff was very professional. The contractor was very professional. They delivered our house on time. The quality of work was amazing. And as you can see today, we are not disappointed. I would definitely recommend Housing Authority of Grenada for all your construction needs. With their affordable costs, high level of customer service, guidance, and building expertise, they will help you as they help us.
I'm a winner. You are winner. We are winners. Winners.
It's the big one. Grenada. Imagine winning $25,000 and up to 6 times by scratching just one later ticket. Get your triple cash scratch tickets for a chance to live your best life. Win easy with Scratch. For just $3, match any of your numbers to any of the winning numbers and win the prize shown for that number. Reveal a money back symbol and win the prize instantly. Triple cash scratch. In stores now. Must be 18 or older to play.
Cause I'm a winner. From the moment that I get up, I'm feeling right.
Color by Sissons.
Let your imagination run wild. Surround yourself in a world of color.
Color by Sissons.
Endless inspiration. Bold expression. Bold expression.
Color by Sissons. Sissons. Express your style with Color by Sissons.
The Grenville Cooperative Credit Union, the credit union of Grenville, takes you where you want to be. Feel secure with the Credit Union of Grenville, taking care of all your financial needs, including savings, loans, mortgages, and sound financial advice. Serving you with branches on Jubilee Street in Grenville, Lucas Street in St. George's, and coming soon, our Grandstand sub-office. Call us on 442-8602 or visit one of our offices. With Grenville Cooperative Credit Union, your financial security is guaranteed. M&M Hardware Limited, Hope St. Andrew and Dusty Highway St. George. Shop conveniently for all your building materials, including plumbing, electrical, lumber, cement, steel, and much more. We manufacture roofing sheets available in 11 colors, aluminum windows, doors, insect screens, and hurricane shutters. Installation services are available for all our manufactured products. Our opening hours are Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. M&M Hardware Limited. Come on in and experience our affordable prices, or call us 444-6757 or 440-6757 Dusty Highway. Email us at info@mahonhardware.com or mnmdusty@mahonhardware.com. M&M Hardware, foundation to roof. Let's build together.
Where would I be? Where would I be without my mama?
We're back. After 2 years, Miss Rose's annual Mother's Day party is back. On Sunday, May 8th, 2022 at Miss Rose Place, Upper Lafortune, St. Patrick. Come dance the night away to sweet sounds by a popular DJ. 9 p.m. sharp. Admission $10. Dress code in full effect. Eats and drinks on sale. This event is one you don't want to miss. Miss Rose annual Mother's Day party. See you there.
Love your mama, let me see your hand. So bossa blanc for your mama, lighter for your mama. Selector, you better pull up the one you for your mama.
Within every system, there are rules and laws, and those who enforce them, obviously because love in the hierarchy is non-significant. So we find it necessary and highly important to gather our civil rights and surround this world. Just a few bewildered knights who got full control. But if it is we fear to trust and guardians be to protect us, question for the lads who went to God.
You know this one, Carl?
Yeah.
Do you know this one?
Yeah.
The KGBs and the petty bosses, CIAs and Scotland Yards.
Who going to guard the guards?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, there's another group. There's a group. Sorry, that did a song about guards again too. You remember that group?
Nah.
A reggae group.
Mr. Bartigan. Snakes in the grass?
A reggae group? I'm waiting on you.
No, I don't remember the group, but I know the song.
You know the song?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can pull it up.
Steel Pulse?
Steel Pulse. Yeah. Steel Pulse. You're so very right.
So are you playing this Who Guarding the Gods?
Them. Let them figure it out. Yeah. Where's that song? This is what I'm talking about right here, Carl. With deceitful faces, corruption. Good morning, Grenada. We're still here for another 45 minutes or so. Thanks to the police. Good morning. How you doing?
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
I said yesterday morning I have to call and find out.
Your radio is too loud. Turn it down, please.
I come out. I was asking the question, what is poverty? Question and answer. You don't get it from nobody. You don't get a poverty. Somebody who don't have money could go in that show and they want pass the weekend. Nobody can tell me that. Some of us know we don't have money, but we having a big birthday party. And I'm telling Grenadians people, take a page of Tatola. Here they only they singing, we go pay, make everybody prominent. We go pay the back pay and all sort of things. Take a page of Tatola, what the premier do. That everybody have to look into that. We don't asking where we go do that and we go do this, but we don't asking where the money coming from. We have to know where the money coming from for us to get it all these empty promises. So when I hear people talking about poverty, everything about poverty in Grenada, I don't see nothing named poverty in Grenada. Because the poverty people and them are having the big birthday bash. The people and them going in all the big show. Just bring a man come from abroad. And you go see poverty people go down in the big show. So I don't know what it is, poverty. Everybody have to ask me the question, answer that question with me. What is poverty? Because when I hear the Prime Minister, when I hear it saying, vulnerable, I don't like to hear this name vulnerable. It can be a low income person, but don't tell me about vulnerable. I don't like to hear the name. So we have to go down the road and answer the question, what is poverty? Because I'm watching all in Africa, people, they fly in them out, the child on the chest, the child in the back, and they had a bucket of water going and take it. But this is the richest country you could find out. So I don't know, they have to answer me, what is poverty? Have a blessed morning.
You too.
How you answering that question, Trey?
What question?
Poverty.
What do I need to answer in relation to poverty there?
No, the caller asked, what is poverty? And she attempted to give some instances as to what is actually happening as it relates to speaking of poverty.
Carl, if I'm able to eat a particular plate of food today that I don't necessarily eat every day, eating that plate of food does not necessarily mean that I'm no longer in poverty.
Mm-hmm.
All right? So we have to first establish our benchmark.
Because you have abject poverty. And then you also have something what persons have to understand is living within your means.
You see, let me tell you, I put it differently, and I think I spoke to it yesterday. There are people who are challenged in relation to having a good enough life. Stop me if you find I'm not coherent here. Mm-hmm. There are people who are challenged in relation to having a good enough life. But there are times when these same people come, they have to have a breather.
Yeah.
They need that breather. So they may save up. Funds so as to attend a show. But it doesn't mean that they are not poor. It may not necessarily be the correct thing to do, you know. But These people need a breather. And that must be stated. That is something that we have to all know.
But I'll contrast, I'll speak what you're saying and I'll tell you of two songs and you go understand. Sandra sang Crying from the Ghetto.
Mm-hmm.
Every night you barely keep growling, Simpson measure in a coffin. But Panther say, well, you realize that's why you take a walk in the ghetto and you realize when you see what is inside the people, place and thing, it is not it's in the same ghetto. He had a very contrasting view. My thing is $100. Poverty is what it is, but it ought not to be made a political issue.
No.
The problem with it comes when you're trying to make it a political issue and trying to score political points
from either side of the fence.
From either side of the fence using poverty, and that is my issue. In every society, even in metropolitan countries, there are people who means cannot afford them to live the life or to live a comfortable life as it is. And in those instances, governments have put things in place to help.
Food stamps.
And so on
the dole.
And even if we who maybe in not that situation ought not to be looked down, but try to play our part in helping. If we claim to be patriots or claiming to be loving country and loving people, it's not about highlighting the ills, but what you do, what you did in recognizing that situation. All you offer is just lip service or going on social media and speak off. Or you try to find out the root cause and not only the symptom. And one might say, teach a man to fish, then you give him a fish every day. But to teach him to fish, he'll need strength. So you might have to give him a couple fishes first. And we use poverty as a stick to beat on persons when we feel like beating them, or to claim victim when we feel like doing it. And poverty ought not to be jackass. Poverty is something we need to treat with as a people, as a country. And sometimes, okay, yes, the caller say, and what the caller says, it does be happening. But then we who might have be or might be in a position, maybe one of the simple things we could do is to speak to the same people and say, hey, your situation is such, when you receive certain little things, prioritize what you do with it. And it always come back again to learning. And if you love and have love for country and people, it's about sitting the same persons down, because they must have been persons who you see doing that, what you could speak to. And that is why it comes back down again to the crux of the matter, Andre Donald. Education is also important, and not education in terms of letter, but education in terms of educating the people as about life skills, the reality of the situation. Because you might very well, somebody might sacrifice, do eat and thing because they want to go in a show, as the caller say, quote unquote. Mm-hmm. And they know it will cost them 120 to outfit themselves and another thing for a show. So they go fight to save 120 and then tomorrow start from ball one. What we as a people need to tell them, yes, there are times you need to vent, you need to let yourself down, but let me prioritize life.
But mind you, you just said that they're prioritizing, not in so many words. And I'll
Yes.
tell you how you said it.
Yes,
because
yes.
you say they're saving.
For that.
For that occasion. It doesn't mean that they don't have their priorities lined up.
Yeah, the priorities is what it is.
But it's just that they know for the carnival season, or for that period, if you want to call it that way, for Spice Mass season, there is one show I want to go in. I want to attend the Soca Monarch.
Yes.
So they will save and save and save for the Soca Monarch. One, they know the ticket costs $60, $80, whatever. And two, they know they need transportation, and they will want to look good.
Yeah.
So they'll get an outfit, so they know I need to save. So instead of buying 6 pounds of sugar,
they buy 1.
Nah, they probably buy 5 or 4 and save that money. Do you understand?
Yes, so my whole thing, Dre, is don't use the poverty thing as a political tool to beat up on people.
It shouldn't.
Or to beat up on our government, or to beat up on anybody. Because if it is what it is, in every society you have the haves and the haves not. And that is a fact. And you cannot go and punish somebody for their situation, or because they might do as we just spoke of, prioritizing that particular way to do that. We shouldn't beat up on them, but try to, in every way, maybe try to show them a parallel way. So when persons speak of, or when a particular representative speak out, Baghdad people in poverty. But what you do to help Baghdad people? Helping them is to trying to shame them? I don't think they're helping them.
Well, the mere fact that you would have put it on social media is that you've stigmatized them already.
So, because poverty is real, there are certain people who the means does not afford them to do a lot of things, what they need to do, not what they want to do. What is needed, and they have to leave, that some people adapt to it, but some don't. Some react to it by maybe doing illegal things to get it. And that's something we as a society has to understand and treat with as a people. And anytime we bring issues of national importance or issues that confront us as other people, and we break it down into green and yellow, is a problem. There are certain issues what ought not to be breaking down into green and yellow. Is the country, how it affects the psyche of the country. And we are mature enough, because we tend to speak on all issues as we are armchair critics or professionals. So all of a sudden everybody become a professional on every issue. But we only try to give it lip service or try to score political points, or be the first to post it. You see, I the first person to post it. But it's not all about that sometimes. And we grew up in an era, Andre, when a village grew us up. It takes a village. And yes, them days I always say, based on what money they might send me in the shop with, I might try to chisel something on the side like a soccer bag of snow ice or something. And the shopkeeper around my areas then would never give me that change. They would give me the thing.
And don't give you the change.
Because they realize if they don't give me and they give me the change, I'll go somewhere else and do it. And when my guardians and then go to them, they'll say, hey, here's what. But we kind of lose that now. Everybody is like me.
We've got a caller. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning again. I want to make a little contribution on the conversation that is going ahead there. A few years ago, a guy told me about during the period of Mr. Prescott Swan running for the NNP.
Hello? 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 Lost you. Can call back.
Yeah, Dre, and it's sad, eh? It's there are some issues which every time my election cycle comes around, everybody get conscious of those issues. And as the result come, everybody forgot there's no more champion for those issues. And poverty seems to be one. Everybody knows of poverty or could explain poverty every time an election is near.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. May I get? In relation to the conversation you all have in there, I want to make a little contribution.
Go ahead.
A guy from Poetry told me one time, back in the day when Mr. Prescott Swan ran for the NNP, Mr. Swan went down in Poetry and he made a statement like, the people used to say back in the day that Poetry people stupid. And that was his downfall in Poetry with the people of Poetry, You understand? So sometimes you see the people that going about in Baghdad and saying that Baghdad people in poverty and so on, they are doing a disservice and to their own detriment. You understand? Because, Baghdad is improving, developing area. You understand? Like Poetry at the time was a developing area. People start to go in Glenville, people start going south, people start to educate themselves, and people start to, you understand, come out of the sort of a backward trend they used to be in before. You understand? So I think you have to uplift people, you understand, instead of linking them to poverty and so on. The poverty in America, you understand? I was listening recently to a divorce court, and a woman take her husband to court for damaging a vehicle. He put it down in a pothole. So I was wondering, you mean a pothole in America? You understand? Big America pothole. But it's a little Grenada, we don't have pitch, we don't have nothing. You understand? But we're doing fine. People coming out from abroad and they appreciating our country more than us. You understand? So those politicians most of the time, I don't want to be politicians, maybe doing more of a damage to themselves than to the people of Baghdad. Have a good morning again.
You too.
Yes, caller. Instructive information there. And a lot of times we tend to try to make statement for a forward or to sound good or try to beat up on certain class or persons within the society, which we ought not to do. There's poverty, or based on the definition of poverty, it exists worldwide. But sometimes we tend to want to make those statements as to point it in a particular direction and say, is it doing of a particular person or individual or group, which is not factual. And we as a people ought to get away from that, because if we saying we better than that, and if we professing love for country, there are certain things we ought not to do.
I just had a request call.
Yeah.
And you'll see my reply. Read it. Because you'll see it.
Mm-hmm.
Read it.
Andre, good morning, sir. Can I have an interview, please? What's the number to call?
Who said that?
Ron Redhead.
Mm-hmm. What was Andre's reply?
Ron Redhead, Andre will never allow himself to be used. When you were given this opportunity before, you refuse. Now you want it. Why the LOL?
Yeah, I'm still laughing.
Nah, you don't LOL.
No, I'm laughing. This one you can't tell me. You make the suggestion, but you can't tell me I can't laugh because I'm laughing. Let me tell you something, Carl. For the past, and this is before COVID. How long has the COVID hit us now?
What, 2 to 3?
About 2 years?
Yeah.
Before the COVID, Ron Redhair and others, including Tevin Andrew, were offered the opportunity to put forward their positions and be interviewed by us here on Real FM. They refused. Before that, Mr. Joseph Andel was personally contacted by me, physically contacted, I should say, by me, and was given the opportunity to be a guest here on this or another program. He also refused. So, Carl, I have to laugh. I have to laugh. I must laugh. I cannot not laugh.
Okay.
What happened? Real FM has suddenly become popular? They know the numbers. Call. Ron, don't ask me. If you're listening, you'll know the number. Or you ask Jose Ernesto the number. He knows it. Ask him the number. You can call. Good morning.
Good morning. Why I ask the question, what is poverty? Because every platform are listening to NBC and them coming down on Grenadians' poverty. So that's the question I'm asking. The people and them have to tell you what is poverty. Election time, nobody notices poverty. Only election money, everybody is poverty. So that is the question. Nobody, these people that are talking about poverty, they never come out and give nobody nothing. Only in election day, Grenada turn poverty. So tell them, take a page from that. I ask the question, what is poverty? And they got to tell me what is poverty. Because they don't do nothing for nobody. They don't give nobody nothing. So this is the question I'm asking them. Nobody can come and tell me Grenada is poverty. I don't work in. I live in my little pension on my NIS where I work in GCNA. GCNA don't give me no big set of money. But I could pay my bill. And I could eat piece of food. Check it out. I have one fig tree, one plantain tree. And this is what giving me my food every daylight. So when we sit in and we say Grenada is in poverty, who helped Grenada come out in poverty? Everybody get the dollar, who big the pressing on poverty, put it in their pocket, and they come in and preach it. Give Grenadians people, Grenada is poverty. Have a blessed day.
The context?
Yes, Andre Donald. Like I was just saying, to politicize poverty is bad. Like I tell you, only around the election cycle, there are some who always speaks of or know Grenada goes to poverty, and then when they lose, you don't hear them for the next 4 years. So all of a sudden they don't see in poverty again. But the question here, it begs the question here, Andre, what are you doing? Seeing that you're recognizing, and every time you open your mouth, you speak of poverty, what are you doing?
I am not going to go into the whole poverty discussion again. But I just like to, I still laughing, Carl. Because, and one of the reasons why I'm laughing has to do with this morning. Remember, in the onset of our conversation this morning, Carl, one of the things that we spoke about was Real FM and the lack of support from the people in St. Patrick, the lack of support, and the love and respect and support you get out of St. Andrew. And Carl, interestingly, I made a statement that the support and the love, are you with me, bro?
Yeah.
The support and the love that is now emanating out of St. George's Northeast and St. George Northwest and the South. I made a reference to that this morning, showing that our listenership in the Northeast especially has increased tenfold. It has increased. Check this. Ron Redhead is the candidate for the National Democratic Congress in the Northeast. So Ron, you finally get the message and you realize that people listen to us down there. Ah, my brother. Well, I say this to you. Still, we'll welcome you. What you need to do is to call 442-0975 and you can make an appointment. The person or persons who would, the person who would speak to you will then speak to me, and I will give them a date and time for a discourse with yourself. All right? That's all I can tell you at this time. Other than that, you can call willy-nilly as an ordinary caller. The number is 442-0175. So if you'd like to have an interview, you can call the station and so make that request. And if you just want to call just to make a comment or whatever, 442-0175, and you'll be treated as any other caller. As they say, we ain't watch face, right, Carl?
Nah.
Good. Morning, how are you doing?
Morning, sir.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, I heard you say you want to touch with the issue of poverty anymore, but that was just when I was picking up the phone.
All right, go ahead. I just wouldn't comment.
All right, Master Carl.
There you all go.
He ain't commented too.
You can understand.
All right, go ahead, bro.
The Most High had a problem with poverty, and he failed to solve it. And he said, we'll always have the poor with us. You know that, right? But there was a time when the crowd was gathered. I think it was somewhere on a beach. And he had so much people there, and his boys around him was kind of disturbed. Master, let them people go and get something to eat, because it's getting late and they're hungry.
That was the Mount of Olives. That was no beach.
All right.
Yeah.
And he said, give them something to eat. We don't have nothing to give them to eat. Well, go and buy and give them. He said, well, will you get money to buy to feed all these people? He said, nothing wrong. He said, one said, just a little boy had a 2 little fish and I wanted 2 loaves there. Say, bring it. Say, bring it. And he multiplied it. But you still had poor people around. He did not eliminate poor people while he was here. Suddenly, I understand the gentleman said, as soon as he wins the election, he will just call that to a halt. No more poverty in Grenada. No more homelessness. The master himself could not have done that. And there you have it. Deacon is lying to me and telling me I could get away from the old house I'm living in now. I could sell that because I won't get a good house when apparently, I want to get a good house when he comes into office. And also, I noticed that in the United States and in England, should I mention India, first world country? The people, especially in India, doing the garbage. They are sorting garbage out there to get things to eat. And I heard a lady mention that earlier to the flies and all kinds of things. The ladies, babies on their back and babies in front of them, and so on. And you're talking about most of them first world countries. But let's not forget, in the United States, there are a lot of homelessness there and a lot of hunger taking place there. In fact, somebody saying to me recently that they're making up some barrels to send to Grenada. And I was cautioned to tell them, be careful what you're sending, because Grenadians don't just take any and anything nowadays. And this is because Grenadians are feeling comfortable that they're not in poverty. You understand? They're not in poverty. So, Papa, I don't know what ratio the gentleman is speaking from, what song sheet is singing from, but I think last weekend would have shown that there is no poverty in Grenada. The party started from, I think, way back Friday till Tuesday morning when I came from Grenville to get some gasoline. The party was still going on. Let us be careful and advise our people properly. We could do better than that.
Hold on. Let me just say this to you while you say this. there's nothing that speaks to poor people being at that party. There's nothing that says poor people was at that party. So we have to be very careful. And then we're making a mistake, I think, because we're mixing up poor and poverty. You understand me? Let us not do that. And because somebody goes to a show, because somebody attends a function, you cannot use that, and you should not use that as a yardstick to say, well, that person is poor or that person is living in poverty, but yet still the person is able to attend a show for $100. It could be that someone, understanding the person's pain and realizing what is going on with the person, it could be that someone donated a ticket to that person and say, hey, go out and have your fun. You continue to work with your children, and tonight you should go out and have some fun. You should take that relaxing measure. So you see, every time a show happens, we tend to say, oh, well, they are money, so they're going out to show, so that they ain't need nothing. No, let us not do that. That is not fair. I believe that the promoters, and listen to me very carefully, I believe that the promoters should give back. How they do it, I don't know how it can be done, but I believe that the promoter should give back, understanding the predicament of some people. But let us not do so, and let us show by any means judge our standard of living in Grenada, whether or not it's high or low.
Outside of that, though, looking in, we saw them as being poor. We use a standard also to term them as being poor, because we eat and we drink every day. And there are those outside there who cannot do that. Right? So we cannot term them as being poor. Or should we term them as being poor because they don't have a car? And more than that, you'll notice that we have a phone sticking out of our back pocket, and everything is like so. There must be a standard without going to the scientific data that they use to determine that these people are in poverty.
Yeah,
because they're not living like me. Does this mean that they're poor because they're not living like me? I'm not living in Lansapine or so. Does this mean that I'm poor? I don't think so. Because like I was saying just now, folks are sending clothes and other stuff to Grenada from the United States, especially. They send it through the churches. They send food like rice, white rice and stuff like that. I offered somebody, I ain't eating that. You understand? I ain't eating that. When you're poor, you cannot say that stuff. In other words...
How do you mean you can't say that? Let us not get this thing mixed up. Because you're poor, it doesn't mean that you're exposed. It doesn't mean that you have to accept anything that comes your way. Because you can't afford a meal, it doesn't mean that you can't say, hey, I'm not eating that. No.
In terms of not eating that, in terms of scorning it. I'm saying, in terms of scorn, not in terms of it gonna grab my belly or something like that. In terms of scorn. You understand? And if we could scorn food, not because of, I know, Master.
You're taking this thing to a different high, and as I said, let me maintain what I said in the beginning. I am not going to reply to anything you say right now. Go ahead.
Okay, wonderful. I'm still saying though that we cannot, we shouldn't say that we're going to eliminate poverty as soon as. Because when the master said, we will continue to have poverty around us, you know? And if he said so, I believe him. And he did not do it while he was here. Maybe he could not have, or maybe he wanted to have people poor so they could continue begging him, perhaps, like we say nowadays, eat our food. But I don't think he did that either. But realizing humanity and the way humanity has brought themselves, he allowed them.
I've given you 10 minutes, my brother.
Thank you very much, sir.
Have a nice day.
Right.
One thing we must put in context here, and based on the definition in the dictionary, poverty is a state of being extremely poor. Extremely poor. So it's not just to say one is poor, but to put it in proper context. And the opposition is highlighting poverty and so on. But the present government, the NNP government, which has created social stability with the safety net programs, the same Congress who touting poverty and poor, saying it's a wasting of government resources. For the same people now, they're saying they go save and they go eliminate poverty and so on.
You put everybody to work.
The government which is doing that, they consider it wastage.
We got a call. Good morning.
Good morning, Brother Andre. Well, what an interesting note to stand on. This is Ronald Eddie. Well, look, very interesting topic. Now, I wouldn't get into any political banter. I'll probably save that for the actual interview. But I believe that the whole issue of poverty, you can't ignore the fact that some people, and I agree with you, some people could be poor. It means they can't afford certain things at the present moment, but they are not embedded in poverty in a deep. This is an important topic because I believe quite honestly that NDC is thinking for the eradication. Now listen to the brother just try to say that we are against social safety net. No, we are not against social safety net. This is the position of the Congress. If social safety nets are only meant to keep or service or maintain the situation from deteriorating beyond, then it's not improving the conditions. You can't have a situation where more and more people are having to rely upon seed programs, safety net programs to survive. It means, therefore, that you're not improving the situation.
You started off, Ron, remember you started off by saying, hold on, no. You started off. I'm going to ask you, I'm going to ask you to maintain what you started off by saying. You started off by saying, hey, we ain't discussing any politics here in relation to this.
I see the banter.
No, once you start to go there, then of course there will be banter. I mean, unless I do so and just play mum and say nothing. And you know Andre is not going to do that.
After I come off the line,
say again?
I think that is fair enough.
I hear that.
I say it could blows me after I come off the
line. No. I would not do that after you're gone. No, I'm not like your friend that you're campaigning with, you know. I'm not like your friend that you campaigning with. I don't do that, right? So I'm saying to you, here's what. I respect the fact that you called in. Means that you're listening. And it means that the people in your neighborhood are telling you, hey, we listened to that guy. He seems to be making sense, contrary to what your political campaign manager telling you. Contrary to that.
I don't know about that.
I know. Don't worry about that, Ron.
So here, man. That's propaganda.
Here is one.
But Brother Andre, I would really like to make this point because
I cannot allow you because you promised me that you were not going to do the politics. That's what you started with. So, and Carl Caton wants to respond to you.
No. Let him speak.
Let him speak? Right. Okay, Carl said, let you speak, so I'm going to let you speak.
Well, much appreciated.
Go ahead.
So essentially, when we talk about the eradication, and this is a UN sustainable goal, right? It's not NDC making this up. This is something that small island developing states should actually be working towards or doing. Now, you have to look at eradication of poverty, not just on the surface of the word poverty itself, but the underlying cause. And NDC is not a perfect organization, neither is the ruling administration's party. However, if we sit and we analyze and put aside the colors and the partisanship, if we sit and we analyze what causes or contributes to poverty, some people are born with it, others they go into it due to certain factors. One factor, the question of the lack of education. That could also be broken down into the question of the access to the education, whether they could afford it, are they able to afford higher education to get a proper paying job, etc. Then you have the other issue of job security, because a lot of people in Grenada, for example, are underemployed. So looking at the thing from that angle, rather than just the narrow angle that there are poor people and what they need is just something to go by, they do need something to go by, but in addition to this something to go by, they need to be removed out of the situation of poverty, not only by the handout, and that is the clear distinction, I believe, between the two. So one provides that service or assistance rather to service the poverty, and the other certainly right now, because I cannot speak for the past, I was not there before in the government. Right now, we want to ensure that we do not only service the poverty in the country, but we also aim to eradicate it by tackling the underlying causes of poverty.
Okay, so Carl is going to speak. Sorry, go ahead, Carl.
How are you doing? You good?
Not too bad.
I want, based on the discussion we have in here, I want to ask you a full question. You made a mention of the root cause of poverty. And we know, and based on what you're saying on the US sustainability issue on the root cause.
The
UN. Now, sustainability is an important word in that whole discussion here, and root cause. But too often, we politicize poverty, and that is a problem. We tend to point it on persons and not really dealing with the root cause as to how we go help somebody out of. But before you help somebody out of a particular state, they have to acknowledge that, yes, I am in that state and want to get out of the state. So even though we speak of all this grandeur, the person has to want to be part of the thing.
Well, that's true. But
and the whole issue about poverty only tend to raise the head around election time when either parties try to ting on the other one. And the case in point here, I wouldn't go wrong circles. The case in point when one of your team members would jump up and say about poverty in Baghdad. That will help in poverty in Baghdad.
No, but I think it cannot be misconstrued. She was not.
It's not what you see. That there lies the crux of the matter with your organization. You always feel when you speak, people ought to understand how you say it. And that would has be the problem.
No.
Listen to me.
Hold that, Ron. Ron, we allowed you to speak, Ron.
You're speaking out misconstrued.
Right.
When the statement is made, is how the receiver receive what he said.
Well, correct. That's the
and your organization seems to don't have that ability on messaging because you just expect what you say the person should understand how you mean it too.
No. And look,
Ron, listen. You see,
Carl, let me just say this. Ron, I know you are accustomed to different things elsewhere, but here we give persons the opportunity to speak. Do you understand? So we give persons the opportunity to speak here. We are very civil. Right. Okay, Carl, continue.
Yes, Ron, and messaging. You see, that's why I tell you, poverty is an issue that ought not to raise head only around election time. And too often, only around election time, this issue does raise the head, and then we cannot as a nation treat with it that. But what the question here I want to ask you, what is your vision or your party's vision for poverty?
Bear in mind that your political leader, Mr. Mitchell, Deacon Mitchell, said zero poverty. Is that sustainable? Going back to the word that Carl used, is that sustainable?
Yes.
Zero.
And the simple answer is yes, because the vision.
Oh my God.
And remember, hold on, remember this.
Joel, the people listening here, Joel.
Hold on, Brother Dre. Just like we can eradicate other issues and ills in society and health challenges and etc., this similar opportunity exists for eradicating poverty. Remember, poverty essentially is man-made because it revolves throughout the society, the economic, etc. It is a man-made problem. I am not getting into all the fancies, whether or not everybody will be rich or nobody at all will never have a day when they can't afford something, because I don't think that could be achievable. However, poverty, the fact that people are living in circumstances where their health conditions are poor, their housing conditions are poor, their ability to educate themselves, their education are poor, that is what we are attempting to tackle, because poverty encompasses all of these things. And it is from those categories, then you determine if someone is poor or living in destitution, etc. So the point is, that is an achievable and a sustainable goal.
Mr. Reddit,
change how we see it.
Just one thing, Mr. Reddit.
Hold on. Let him finish. Wrap that. Ron, go on. Wrap that.
So we need to change how we see poverty. Talking about it to say somebody is in poor conditions doesn't mean anything bad, because too often it is hidden, and only, as Brother Keaton mentioned, around election you see postings of what people are doing and so on. And
people eating fig skin.
Yeah, but that's the
and Baghdad in poverty.
And Baghdad in poverty.
You're speaking about future here. But in any event, I am
Carl has to say something before you go.
No problem, I'll wait.
I understand where you're coming from, but the crux of the issue, we're living in a real world, eh?
Well, that is a real statement.
No, we're living in a real world. So to say about zero poverty, you know, Mr. Redhead, we're living in a real world. And that is the message in part I've been telling, I try to get for you to understand. Because you bring in certain pronouncement, but we're living in a real world with real people and real thing and real time.
People will take the thing different.
This hypothesis and them don't really resonating.
No, but you see,
that hypothesis, Mr. Redhead, and it is Ron, listen, you will learn, listen. You's a fella I like. You's a guy I like. You's a guy I like. You will learn.
We don't banter here.
The message is not resonating, so you need to have a message that resonates.
But who says the message is not resonating?
Because the result bear it out every time.
But were we speaking about that before?
Every time you speak of that. Because every time election, listen. There about the third election now, poverty always takes center stage when it comes.
I have heard, this is maybe the fourth occasion, I have heard the leader of the country has mentioned that we're going to declare war on things like poverty and unemployment. Are we there yet? No. The question is, just because we say it and it is not achieved, does not give us the right, even as politicians or individual citizens, to develop this defeatist type of approach to say it cannot be achieved. You mentioned that we're in the real world. Who would have thought in 2020 we would have seen something like COVID-19 shutting down the whole world? None of us would have experienced that.
Obama spoke about it around 8 years before. They were preparing for that.
He would not have acknowledged freedom in the way that he did when it was granted. The point is, when it happens, then we can understand it somehow. I agree with you. Saying it does not make it a something that could change people's reality, because a lot of people are living in the poverty day by day and do not understand how to come out of it. But
Ron,
we believe that it can be achieved.
Ron, my friend, let me give you one bit of advice. Politics have a morality of its own. And I wouldn't say no more.
Way of thinking about politics.
No, just telling you, that's the reality of it. You see, one has to be real in.
One is real, but you
But
cannot
one cannot
settle for
pretend
that
and bury his head in the sand, Ron.
No, but we cannot be afraid of big ideas, because for every movement and change that took place around the world, it had someone who came out and was labeled crazy, was labeled unrealistic.
Wow, pipe dreams.
Pie in the sky, Ron.
Pipe dreams, Ron.
Let me just say this to you, Ron. I know you got to run.
Well, Ron, I hope to see you sometime, you know.
I know you got to run, as you said.
We can arrange that.
You will make the call. You got the numbers, and you will make the call, and the platform will be created so that you can have your
say.
But mind you, make sure you get in contact with your campaign manager. Don't do that without your campaign manager. And let your campaign manager know it is okay to broadcast the interview, to rebroadcast, simulcast the interview. At the same time, it is okay. Just let your campaign manager know that.
Well, my campaign manager is a female.
A female? Well, still, same thing. Take care, sir, bro. Take care. One love.
Take care.
Okay, good. Right. Bye-bye. Real 91.9, 91.5, www.therealfmgrenada.com. The only sane radio station in Grenada, yeah.
Content.
Well,
you have a serious audience listening to you, man.
Yeah. Really? I didn't even know that. I just seen that now as you walked in. I'm wondering. Okay, it started?
Yeah,
okay. So friends, we have to wrap it here. Maxine has just walked in and said to me, hey, we've got a post cab today, and the senator with the responsibility for communication and works, called public utilities and so on, the Honorable Nolan Cox, who is one of the most conscientious candidates that we'll see for 2022 or 23. I don't know when the Prime Minister is going to call it. He, at this point in time, is the facilitator at the ministerial complex in relation to today's cabinet post brief. Okay, so as soon as we're able to find that link here, where is it? Well, there we are. And we find the link. It should be this one. We'll be listening to Senator Cox. Stay with us. Okay, there seemed to be a bit of a bother in relation to that particular link. Let me see, is there another one? Let's try this one. Nope. That one is not working either. Vondel, can you help me here? Okay, let's try a bit of a magic here.